welcome to episode number 54 of Night Thrice, the podcast, where three wonderful friends are going to cover their top three topics of the top 3 months of the I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to do a top three countdown in 3 categories for this month. What are the 3 things that have us most excited? Emily, can you tell us what the categories are this month, please?
Tabletop games, video games, and TV and movie. TV movie is one category.
All right, hello and welcome to the show, everybody. Let's get this show on the road.
We're 2 minutes in and we're already like, blah, blah, we talk.
How do we do this?
Do my mouth make the noise?
How? I've been looking so much forward to this because we missed Ken last month. He was sick. And though we brought in a pinch.
Which one?
Pinch.
It's got to be pinch, right? With an
Pinch?
N?
I think
It
so.
must be pinch.
It wouldn't be
right?
a pitch. That
You're in a
doesn't make
pinch.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's good to finally get caught up. Actually, Ken's going to be out here in a couple of weeks. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Speaking of which, we will probably have to delay the D-list a week, but that's all right. Because
Yes.
we're going to be visiting instead. We're going to be having
Really?
fun together.
It
Yeah,
would
because
be-
I think you'll be flying in that day.
You're
Yeah,
coming
you're
in the
right.
day we
You're
would have
first
done it.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be super fun if we could figure out a way to do a live one.
Oh, that'd be wild. I don't know if we have time, though.
I don't know how or when we do it, but it would be worth it to see if we could try
At
it.
some point.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yes.
What do we got? How many? We're going to have way too many people, all
Do you want
all
to say
grown
what it
men.
is? I don't think you said.
We're going to have a LAN party.
It's a grown men's convention.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is. It's in Ryan Quinn's basement.
Adult
There's going to be about 50
baby
people
men.
down there.
Here's the address.
The real number, I think there's going to be like 15, though.
It's a lot.
It's
That's
a
a
lot.
Way
lot.
more than I would have thought because
I don't. It's to the point where we're worried about, like, do we have
Overflow.
enough power connections? Do we have enough
He's got
Ethernet
like cables
connections?
running
Yeah.
out his windows.
We have
like,
so many people, we're going to have to be playing different games. We have
need to
more
rent
people
the
than most.
stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
do you guys want to rent a
Well-
like local area?
And for context, it's my understanding that the LAN or board game get-togethers have gotten harder and harder, right? Folks in Midland have moved or changed or that
That's
sort of
so
thing.
true. Yeah.
And not to not trying to be mean by any means, right? But it's getting harder and harder to get people together. Everybody's getting older, yada, yada, yada. But like 15 people, I think over 50% are flying in too.
Yeah.
That's
right? It has
wild.
to be
would
like
be-
half
I
and
would
half
say.
at least.
It's almost half and a half, I think.
How many people we got coming in? We got
I'm going with 4.
Ken,
Yeah,
Evan,
right? So that's
Gage,
already-
Nick, Cody's maybe flying in. 5
Oh, really?
people flying in.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
and there
Maybe
could
I
be
haven't,
others,
I haven't
but
seen
that's
Cody since he
still-
moved.
Yeah. Huh.
For any Session Zero listeners, Cody was the person that was in the original Monday night group that I joined that got me on the whole role-playing game
That's
path,
right.
So.
Oh, I was like, he was not on session 0. Like, what are you talking
Now,
about?
speaking of Session Zero, thank you, Em. For anybody who hasn't noticed,
Great
we have a new
segue.
podcast in the feed. We're going to try to do it once a month. Ryan from the Gamecasters and I are going to do a role-playing game podcast focus on us not having any idea what we're doing, trying to learn how to be DMs. And so what we're going to do is talk about our struggles. Each month we're going to cover a couple of topics, and then we're going to bring a guest on who's more experienced, hopefully, and can tell us what the heck we're doing. So
I love this. I love this.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No. Go ahead, please. You're saying I love this. You enjoy it. It's a great idea.
I'm going to warn you
Yes.
right now, though. You guys have to keep a certain degree of newness, right? Because as soon as you become seasoned D&D vets, you're
feel like they
every
can
other
That's
you're
true.
That is
every
true.
other white male podcast from his mid-30s up. And so, like,
Unfortunately, I think that's going to be unavoidable. If we do
Right,
this for a long
right.
time,
Yeah,
It's
you
a
guys
limited
are pretty much
run.
losers, though.
an
It'll
Apple
last a while.
Plus limited
right?
Series.
You listening to the show will go on a journey from us going
Right.
from novices to experienced.
And then by
we'll bring
then,
you along the way.
you'll be so successful that you'll be like Mr. Beast, right? And we lost 50,000 subscribers today.
Oh my gosh.
Oh well,
Whatever.
guess I'll go buy another Lambo, right? So
God.
I can't wait to
Beast.
experience that, and then
We
resent
tried,
you forever. Sorry.
We try to do the first show live. I think we'll keep doing that so people could like ask questions while we're
that's so
I
covering
feel
stuff.
cool.
like that's the best way to do
That
it.
was kind of fun. And then when we had the guest on, people could ask the guest questions. So that
When
worked out
was it?
really good.
It was
We did we're going to try to do the second. So if the D list is the
D-List Session 0 podcast blank week.
D-List?
right, is usually
Yeah.
list is
okay.
the first
Oh,
Thursday
I
of
like
every
that.
month. The session
You guys
0
are
is
clever.
the second Wednesday of every month. And then we record this podcast of the third Thursday of every month. So
okay.
if you want to tune into the live
Wow.
show, second Wednesday, come and check us out.
Yeah,
I
and
love
we'll
that
post
it's live.
dates
That's
ahead
really
of time.
cool.
But
Oh, what have you guys been up to?
yeah, Ken, what's up with you?
Nothing.
We haven't talked to you much.
No, it's been a quiet beginning of 2023 here. I'm in the process of changing jobs, which has been very stressful because it involves,
Changing jobs.
well, but I have clients. I have people that
yeah.
and so in the legal world, or at least in my field, when you move from one law firm to another, you have the option to invite your clients to come with you, generally.
Ooh.
And in some scenarios, that can be really sticky, right? Like if you wanted out of an awful law firm,
Yeah.
you're actually supposed to contact the clients first and say, hey, I'm going to be moving somewhere. Would you like to come with me? They have the option of staying with the firm. They have the option of going to somewhere else. But it's a lot of contacting everyone you've emailed in the past 10 years
Sounds
and
like a
saying,
nightmare.
yeah, it's
So
like,
it's not just people you're working
No.
with currently, it's people you've done work for. Is it
Yes.
how far back do you got to go?
well, if
Probably
they
anyone that's
anybody could be a 15-year-old client, could be somebody you started working with a week ago. You have to say, hey, I'm moving. You have these options, and it's got to be written, right? You want to be able to say, hey, you said you want to do this. Here's the paperwork. And so it's a lot of admin stuff of sort of like, yeah, right? Who wants
Yeah.
to do that?
that sounds awful.
Other than that, though, I think Meg's trying to explore new job opportunities.
Ooh.
The
It's
kids
exciting though.
are
Also
we're all
getting jobs.
also getting
them
jobs.
some jobs.
Everybody's getting on board.
they're actually talking about lowering the minimum age for workers in
There you go.
Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Third-
you guys
third
are
grade.
going to be bringing
Right.
in the cash.
Well,
soon.
you know, what's that cliche joke? The kids used to work in the mines, and now what's the most popular video game in the world? Minecraft. Kids
Right.
want to be in mines, right?
Can you
That's
imagine
where
if they paid our kids though to like play Minecraft, like to do something
No.
in Minecraft? I'd be like, sign me
yeah, what
up.
was that?
because-
What do they use GPUs for? Crypto mining?
yeah,
like-
let's do that.
Like if that was actually just kids at computers playing
Yeah.
Minecraft,
And you're
as-
like trying to get the fees. And,
oh,
yeah.
ugh. Anyway,
Go.
no, we're busting through. Oh, I had my first Taekwondo class. It was very, very hard, and I have since not gone back, but I will. I think.
Okay, so hold on. You need to walk us through this.
Yeah, this
'cause
is
this
cool.
is insane. What do you mean? What do I mean?
What was
so
it like?
You're saying you, as an adult, signed up. Have you ever done it in the past?
When I was like 10, I went to karate like 3 times and
All
quit.
right, so that's like essentially no.
Classic.
Is what?
So it's a no. But that seeded this sort of like, there's a list of things you want to return to that you skipped as a kid, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Mine is karate of some martial art of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
models, Legos always.
Yeah.
I'll just always go back to those.
Man, you
but
can
there's
always
these
do
sort
that.
of there's these sort of things you want to do. My kids have been in Taekwondo for a year. We're on the
Okay.
family plan. So it doesn't cost me anything extra to
that's
join.
perfect.
Wow. Okay.
And if you're a parent of kids in class, you can come during the kids' class, and one of the instructors will take adults off to
Oh.
the side,
Is that what
and
you
you'll
did?
train separately
At the same time?
at the same
Yeah, this is
time.
wild.
Oh, this is so convenient.
Yeah. So
Well, and
it's
now
not
you're
like,
reminding me of how much, like, I only glanced over 2 or 3 times. It's 45 minutes for parents and kids. I only glanced over 2 or 3 times, but I don't think I've ever seen my son work so hard as when I was not watching him.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Which
the best.
that's probably
yeah.
a lesson for me more than
Yeah.
anything else.
Right.
But no, they walked you through. There's we did like kicks and punches and strikes and that sort of thing. But then there's what are they called? Forms, which are
Yeah.
a series of I don't want to call them poses because I don't think that's the right
that's
word.
like-
Movements?
I remember when Calvin did
Stances,
that though.
right?
It's like A1 to A, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And so they walked us through a couple of those. We did sticks and stuff. They gave me the white rope. I'm a white belt, guys. I did it.
Oh my
One class
gosh,
deep,
it's
and
so
then
exciting.
I want to do this.
it was
I feel like
really
you would be scared, Ben, with Master Angel.
That's
Yeah.
why, though. Teach
Well, that's
me
the
your
thing.
ways.
He would be
I-
really good, but
Is
it
he a
would be
good
separate
teacher?
time. No, he's great. I feel like he's just intimidating. Where Ben would be
Yeah.
like, "Well, I don't know how," and he'd be like, "Chop chop. What do you not know?" Like it would be very like in your face, and you'd be like, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Master
Yeah.
Angel." Like,
We have really, really good teachers, and I think that's the reason that I was able to like commit to it. Where they're like,
that's awesome.
the first thing one of the guys said to me is like, "Okay, you're not going to have any problem generating power, right?"
He took one look at you.
Right.
This
he
guy.
said,
Big
this
boy.
absolute unit is not
Right.
going to have a problem generating power.
Look, we're not kidding anybody here.
Look, pal.
Yeah. And so he's like, you're only going to have to think about control, right? And speed and that sort of thing. And I said, well, I'm not fast by any means. I think I could fake control. But then I was really cool. But I sparred with what I think was a teenage girl. She was in adults, but
Okay.
I don't know,
that
maybe
would
she's,
make me so nervous. So,
well, she's like 5'4".
well, that's what I
And
mean.
I'm
I'd be like,
6'3".
"Ugh, do you want me
Right.
to
And the guy,
punch in the face?"
the unit, it was just us two with 2 instructors. And they're like, okay, take these sticks and I want you to both stare at each other's nose while you hit each other.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I traumatized her because I was staring.
So she's not
Well, 'cause
coming.
At
she's
her
sort of
nose.
I'm sure she was like, I don't want to look at this old man in the face. I just want to. Why are they making me interact with this person
What?
at all? This troll,
Was
Why
she
have they put me
also-
up against this giant?
Right.
This is
Like
not a fair
a
fight.
cave troll came
Wait,
out.
was she also a white belt? Like just started?
No.
Or was
she's-
she- okay.
I've seen her there when I take the kids, and I think she comes with her little brother actually. So it's the same
Okay.
sort of thing. They let her train when it makes sense for the family.
Yeah.
But like this poor girl, I have no problem. If you tell me to stare someone in the eyes
She's
while I
probably
hit them
like
with
this
sticks,
psychopath.
I will like laser. There's nothing you can do to phase me on eye contact.
In this
And-
story, she is the protagonist of the movie, and she's
Right.
like shown how capable she is, and she's learning
Right.
so fast. And then she comes up against you and like does her like move. It has no effect, right?
Nothing.
You're just
And
so
he's
big.
not blinking. Nothing. He's just staring.
He's like a robot, a giant robot.
Not true though, because the instructor, being astute and paying attention, was like, okay, I don't remember what her name was, Gabby or something. She's like, you're obviously going to have to hit this guy in the gut, right?
Yeah.
Or, below the
Yeah.
belt. That's your number one,
Yeah.
zero hesitation hit, right? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, right? She's trying to, she's not kicking or anything. We had these sticks. And I'm like, I don't know how to defend that low.
all of a sudden you're dancing backwards.
Yeah,
He's
suddenly
like-
I felt like an umbrella. Like just kind of teetering.
She's like quick and
around.
small,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And the umbrella that
lumbering
can't touch
back.
its own pole.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I hope she walked away with that with some sort of confidence.
yeah, she knows she can defeat a 6'3". Like now she's
Right.
good to go. That's pretty awesome.
This
though.
is great. I want to.
You
What
need to
about you
update
guys?
us next time.
I'm glad you asked. I totally forgot about that. That was a fun day.
I feel like we haven't done anything.
It's
I know. Like,
it's Fool's Spring right now in the Midwest, right?
I think it
the
just ended
worst.
today. It was starting to snow.
Oh no way.
today.
Okay.
well,
that makes
so we
sense.
had
'cause-
totally nothing. It's I think we're supposed to get like 6 inches, so it's snowing now. But
Oh,
I
no
think
way.
in a couple days it's supposed to be 40 again. So
Yeah.
then it's all gonna.
You're getting. That's weird. It must be colder there because we had that rain yesterday.
Ooh,
And it
do you
was a
guys have like
lot of
ice
rain.
now?
Whoa.
No.
Then
It's warm.
oh, it's warm. Okay,
It's warm. It's just
That's
Maybe
been,
it'll warm up
crazy.
here.
we're on basement flood watch though. That's the problem. It's like
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, didn't you have that rainstorm in your basement? Was that
and
last
then
year?
that was about
Year
this
before?
time
That,
last
like-
year, probably.
Like
yeah.
waterfall wall, as
Spring.
if it's like
Yes,
up
right.
like it was
Put
on
the wall
purpose.
down, it was a water feature. I just needed to.
Oh, that's our
glue
waterfall.
rocks
Yeah, you need to
behind it.
like just encase
Yeah.
it and
We
then
only get it in the springtime.
It's a natural.
put up some
what's that called?
plexiglass or something
Yeah.
and just make it part of it.
No, I hope not. I don't want to do water.
Oh, that's no fun. No, I don't know. We haven't done much. Yeah, we've had warm weather, so it has felt like spring, which has been really weird. But then lots of mud from the dogs, which Ben, of course, has a heart attack. Like,
Yeah.
I can't
Not
handle
a-
dirt.
not a
We
mud
talked
guy?
about this on the Would
Really?
You Rather. Would you rather? You remember we talked. Would you rather
you're
your floor
right.
be cluttered or be dirty? And I can't
No,
handle dirt. I
I'm-
cannot handle
I'm
dirt.
not saying I can handle dirt. Like, I'm not like, oh, I love it. Like, I don't mind it.
I can't handle it.
I'm
But-
just like, yes, I have to clean it up, and
Right.
yeah, we got to deal with it. Where Ben is like, and he, like
Oh,
steam
man.
is
It's
coming
the
out
only
of his
thing.
ears.
Of all the things, that is the only thing that puts me over the edge is when things are like dirty. If
And-
stuff is dirty, I just shut down. I like have to go
When-
hide in a corner.
Yeah, and when
No
Uwe comes in,
way.
it's like if you took a mop outside and like just
Yeah,
dipped it all
yeah.
around the yard and was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like came
Hate
back
it.
in.
I can't. I just
So-
Emily woke up this morning. I'd been up for like a half an hour, and I was like curled in a ball in the couch. I was like, I don't know what to do.
But you can do clutter. Like,
Evan-
does your work desk get cluttered?
Oh, I don't care about clutter.
Yeah, clutter is
Oh,
not.
that's
Which
can't
I don't
believe
mind
how-
clutter.
I'm the other
No,
way where like
no
clutter
clutter.
bothers me more.
I don't care about clutter.
Yeah.
because I know I can clean the floor. Like I can. That's fine.
Well,
I
and
can
I'll get to
vacuum and
it.
I can get to it.
You can't.
But the clutter. What is Mittens doing back there?
Sorry.
The clutter is like.
Well, and usually
I don't know.
dirt and mess. Dirt you clean up first, just like that's like
Yeah.
hardwired in somehow.
Right.
But if you have to take care of something else in the meantime, you also don't really forget about dirt, which
Yeah.
is some sort of weird reptilian, like
You know that you.
like
I
nesting
don't know. You
thing,
can't
right?
You gotta
To
keep
get
your
that
den.
dirt
yeah.
out, yeah. Whereas
But clutter is like, well, we'll get to it.
but then
which
it
you
like
don't.
it makes me mad.
Yeah.
It takes about a week, but clutter makes me like
Yeah.
48 hours of anger.
If I was a bachelor, there not only would there nothing be in its place, there wouldn't be a place for anything.
Oh my
Oh.
Would you-
god.
yeah, I know, right? I'm like,
You shut
But
the
it would
hell
all
up.
be clean.
I don't know if it would,
No
but
place for everything and everything in its place, man.
Just a pile. There's just piles.
well,
that would
the
be
basement was so insane. We moved around the basement and cleaned this section.
Oh, that's true. Look at all these board games
Yeah,
over
so
here
we
now.
moved that, but
I feel like it
That's
changes
because-
every time I see it.
that's because the clutter was driving me so insane. We have the like Christmas clutter, you know, where the kids are like, "I haven't even opened this toy," and you're like,
Yeah, we
should
have
just
post
throw it away."
Christmas.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, you can very slightly see it next to Emily. There's a desk. We have a giant L now. You know how that long
Oh,
desk,
nice.
Ken? So
Yeah,
now it's a
yeah.
huge L. It goes all the way down and then turns.
it's very like
Nice.
we showed up in IKEA down here is what happened.
That's true, but it's
Which
like
I'm
a
fine with.
20-foot long L.
Yeah.
That's
This is
perfect.
the best.
No gaps,
But-
right? I would
Yeah.
I would L this room out if I could. If I could figure it
Right.
out.
Put a shelf on every room, every side.
And I'm having a blast. Why haven't we been hanging out more? What the heck? That's my
That's
fault.
on me because
It's on me because Ken organizes a game night several times a week, and I never show up.
That should be reread. Ken gets bored and texts 15 other guys
Organizes.
almost every night.
That's true. The group text is so big that whenever Ken says, anyone want to play, there's bound to be somebody who will say yes.
There you go.
Shooting fish in a barrel. You
That's
cannot
how to do it.
lose.
On the one hand, we don't have that tight-knit group anymore of the guys who are like
Well, we still have that. We've still got our little.
But
you
we don't. That
always have
game,
a friend.
that group doesn't play
Like, no
games
matter
much
what.
anymore.
That's
but
true.
now we're like we're wealthy in the amount of friends that we've made lately. I feel kind of lucky to have
That's
all
true.
Hashtag
that.
blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
hashtag
blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Well, I mean, if you had ever told me that I'd be 35 and I would somehow like do this weird cross country and internet based circle of
Right?
now I know 15 guys who want to play video
Weird.
games. I've met most of them. I
Yeah.
like that I haven't met all of them.
Land's gonna be wild. I've never met
gonna be
Nick
poppin'.
before.
So
Who's
I'm going to assume he doesn't listen to this.
I would assume so.
Is there somebody in the house?
Are we getting there?
Mittens
Is
is
this-
crawling around and
There's-
stuff.
there's-
Emily
there's a
can't.
I'm sorry.
shuffling. I can
Yeah, there's a cat like in a bag. I don't know what's like. I can
Oh.
hear something.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever.
So we're meeting with Nick, who's no one has ever met
I hope he
except
listens
for
to this.
Evan.
Yeah,
Evan is
Right.
because it's his friend, right?
right. Gage and I are going to shuffle the deck, right? We're going to introduce ourselves as the other when we meet Nick. We thought about that. And then I can't remember. This is all happening in my brain, by the way.
Right. Of course.
Nobody, I haven't spoken to anyone.
It goes
spoken
without
to anyone
saying.
This is
about
my
this.
theory.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, Gage and I can't switch names because what if Evan prompts Nick who's who? He might have clues. We didn't want to give him clues.
Clues.
So then I
But
thought,
Nick knows your voices though.
yeah, but
And
can
you
I,
and Gage do
and then
not
I
You
sound
and Gage
alike.
don't sound anything alike.
what if I introduce myself as Evan when I see Evan
That-
and Nick?
that could pass? That
And
could
that
pass.
could work. And then I thought, what if I introduce myself as Nick to Nick?
Also could work.
That
And
works
I-
about as good as introducing yourself as Evan to Nick, considering they're like they know each other.
They're old
Right.
friends.
That's where I'm at. I'm now going to introduce myself.
Just do it so he never knows your name throughout the
I'm
whole
going to introduce
weekend.
myself to people who have not met me yet as their own name.
There
That's
you
going to be
go.
like a business.
I'm also Brian. That
Right.
kind of thing.
I'm
Wow.
also Brian Cantrell,
Yeah.
VP of. Yeah. Anyway.
And then you just walk away. So they're like, wait,
Right.
what?
What the
Who?
hell?
This is great. I'm gonna have to get another drink. I'm having a blast, guys.
Load up. Where
Should we-
are we
let's
going
get
with
wild.
this?
Pausing it. Do you need a drink right now?
I do actually. I'm empty.
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
once you get one, then we'll do the question for the podcast.
All right. All right, let me tell you guys. So there are 2 times in my life that I have felt like a internet celebrity. Internet maybe is not the right word.
Okay.
One time I wrote in a question to the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast, and they answered it on the air.
Okay.
And then,
I
and
love
they,
that. Sorry.
No,
I wrote a question to like an old gaming website when I was like 9, and they answered my question on there.
And you're
I've
like,
never felt so seen
My-
in my life.
right,
Like, look at me. Look and behold.
right. I am famous.
Right. I am fame.
Yeah.
So it's no
Anyway.
secret. I've become Matt Colville's #1 fan. I talked about it on a couple episodes ago. How many of his YouTube videos I've watched? Well, they started designing their own RPG recently, and he's been talking about it on his Twitch stream. And I was on there the other day, and they were talking about their initiative system, and it was sounding more and more complicated and crazy. And I was like,
You were like,
and I said into
gotta
the Twitch
step
chat,
in.
at that point, it sounds like you should just go with like a board game initiative system where it just switches back and forth between DM monster groups and players like Imperial Assault. And he was like, well, Date Night Dice, and he like answered my question on the stream. He was like, that feels kind of icky. Like,
Oh, man.
but I didn't care what he said.
Yeah,
he
it didn't
said,
matter.
He answered
said
my question. He
Date Night
responded
Dice.
to my comment. I said,
He
why don't you just do
cares.
it this way? And he was like, I don't know about that.
Did you say, hey, and you should check out this new podcast I have called Sessions?
Yeah.
But
You really
he did
could.
say, he was like, well, you know, he's like a classic D&D player. He's like, I hate throwing out initiative. That feels icky. He's like, but their lead game designer, James Introcaso, was also had the exact same idea. And so he was like, well, so we'll see. You know, and I was like, ooh, cool.
Nice.
Aww, he said
Yeah.
your
Such-
username. Are you so excited?
I felt like a superhero.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's all it takes.
All right,
Okay.
what's the question?
Oh, man.
Well, I did this question, but I have a backup question in case you're sick of this question. It is from Spiel with
We've
It.
been asked this before?
Well, he said, have you bought that poor orphan boy some new socks?
Oh, my God.
Ben,
I'm glad you brought this up.
the internet is going wild about your socks.
Do the socks I have on now have holes?
Do they?
They don't.
Surprise, surprise. That's
You
one
know
foot. The other one probably
I
does.
do with my socks when I find one hole. in
One
them.
tiny hole. One
I
teeny hole.
immediately take
Done.
them off. I scoop them together and I put them in a bin in the closet that are Ken's socks that need to be replaced.
There you go. Maybe I need to get him a bin. The whole bin would just be like dirty laundry, I feel like.
Well, it
at
would
this
just
point.
be his socks.
It would be. That's where he
That's
keeps
the
his
problem.
socks in the bed
In
bin
the-
that need to be.
I have
replaced.
been doing a good job of throwing away socks with holes in them. The problem is...
No.
Listen. The problem is I was throwing away socks that were getting worn out. However, recently, I have had a lot of newer socks get holes in them. As you may have seen, holes in the top. Those are 100% from Ooey stealing
Okay,
them and
no.
biting holes in them.
Different
So, no.
story.
But also here's
And so
the thing.
I'm out of socks because
You-
I wore through a lot of socks,
You
and then all
keep
my new ones he bit
complaining,
through.
Though you're like, oh, he gets all my socks. He hasn't gotten one of my. Where are you keeping your socks? He has never gotten one
He
pair
loves
of my socks.
my socks. He
Where do
doesn't.
you put them? Do you put them on his dog bed? You're like, ooh, oops, he got them again. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but he always gets them. I don't know.
That doesn't make any. He has never gotten a pair of my
He gets
socks.
them when they're dirty. He'll go get them when they're clean.
Where do you keep them then?
You know what?
size
I
shoe do
can't.
you
Who
wear,
am I
man?
kidding? Like most
What
of the
size
holes
shoe
are
do
in
you
the
wear?
bottom, and he doesn't. Those aren't from him.
Yeah, I know they're not.
And the
What
idea that
I
a
think he's
sock
like a 10
is
and a
just.
half. Are you a 10 and a
I love
half?
the
11?
idea. Yes, I love the idea that a sock
Yes.
is like a chap that
Yes.
that
No.
protects the top of the foot.
It's like a top sandal. It's
And
like
the
a
bottom?
sunburn preventer.
Like you know how people
the bottom
like,
skin is thick.
used to wear
It doesn't
that,
need to
like-
be covered.
that like little thing that went over their foot, like fancy shoes, like old.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what Ben's socks are now.
Yeah.
They're just for show to like, oh yeah, I have them on, but really the toes are out and like the bottom's out. It makes no sense.
I love the no, not love, that's wrong, but I have some really actually nice tall socks that I wear in the wintertime for running. I had a couple of different kinds that actually were given to me by relatives.
Okay.
And I have finally, those lasted forever. They're very tough, but I finally wore through those. But I continue to wear them because they're the only tall socks I have for running in the wintertime.
But you could just
But-
buy socks. But the thing is not.
That means that my skin is directly touching my inside of my shoe when I'm
Which
running.
begs
That's
the
the thing.
question, why
That-
are you wearing socks at all?
Exactly. That
Well,
is
it's
You
the
have
thing.
covers the
hair.
rest of the foot and
It's
the
not,
ankle.
It's not you
Underwear
could buy
briefs.
it.
That
Yeah,
had
like-
no front or back.
They're like chaps, like essentially.
It's just like strings, basically,
It's like-
in a waistband.
just showing the
right?
form of
I
where
had
you would have it.
I had underwear that I've gotten rid of,
Sorry.
but they are like it was like imagine if you made boxers, not boxer brief,
No.
but boxers out of, but they were like a skirt, and then in the center
What?
it was barely connected. I don't understand why these things existed.
What?
It was like a kilt.
Imagine If you found
actually,
a silky skirt and then someone put like a string to connect it, those were some boxes.
Follow me here. Send me the link. I have been desperately searching for like men's pajama shorts, and I feel like
these would do the job.
The skirt you just described would be ideal.
It's the kind of thing where we're like, you go to bed. You go to bed thinking you're wearing boxers,
or you can
and then
lie down covered. Any other position.
When you wake up,
and you're exposed.
They have come up now, and they're like a blanket.
Right. I want that. What I want to sleep in is a Hanes waistband.
It was Hanes, by the way.
Light skirt.
Oh my god.
These are like 10 12 years ago. Hanes, like soft knit boxers, were actually like a kilt. And she's laughing because this is real.
It was like if you lay down, it could be like, do you have underwear on? Or is it...
What am I don't want to look right at it, but I think you're exposed.
Wait,
here.
yeah. Hold on. Can you stand back up, please?
You know what I have in my laundry drawer? I bought a pair of off of Amazon, some cheap pair of air quotes silk men's sleep shorts, and
Which is like straight up polyester, but
and they're also sized for much smaller people coming out of Japan or China or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a 3XL is like, well, I can't wear this. I'm just out.
like 3XL. They're like, this is as big as we got, guys.
Well,
like,
the thing.
Nobody could possibly need anything bigger than this.
And it's like, I think this is lingerie. I'm not sure.
Hold on here. Okay, we got to start this over.
Sorry.
Do you have a different question?
What? But hold on, my whole thing about your socks. Why is it so loud?
I don't know.
The whole thing
Why
about
was
your
it so
socks
loud?
is not even like, yes, they have holes. It's that you put them on and you go, that's fine.
Yeah. There's
That
something
is the issue.
like
You don't understand. I don't have a choice.
There's
there
sometimes-
aren't any other socks.
There's
Right?
a firmware issue.
Yes.
There's some sort of like
Psychotic?
self-protection thing that everybody else has that you don't have.
Like, you know when you
Like
put
a
on a sock
self-preservation-
and you walk and you go, I can feel
gross.
that. And you look and you go, damn it, there's a hole in this one.
Yeah.
But Ben the other day
goes,
when there were holes, he went, I couldn't even feel that. How? How is that possible?
Sometimes I put the sock on and then toes kind of fall out. And then you gotta hook.
But I
You
don't
gotta hook it back over the toe.
But if you can't tell when the sock is there or not, why would you bother to put it on at all?
Yeah.
Well, the top part of my foot gets cold.
No.
I don't believe that.
I
don't believe that for a second.
That is the most insane thing I've ever
I don't
heard
know. I
someone
should
say.
just get some new socks.
You think?
The problem is you got the puppy though. Now we've talked through it.
But the thing is,
True.
I've never had an issue. Uwe has never eaten a pair of my socks, so I don't know where you're
Must be
leaving
nice.
your socks.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Emily, what was the other question that you had?
Okay. The other question is from Jason, and he's saying, what are your thoughts on digital board games? The digital board game experience versus traditional, like in-person
Great question.
board games. What do you think? I'm going to say up front, I hate digital board games.
All right. Moving on.
That's it. That's the only answer. But I think for me, the board game experience is not necessarily just the game. I mean, if you just want to try out the game, that works. But it's not the game. It's like hanging out with people and talking to everyone and like the whole thing. The digital, all of a sudden, yeah, you can still talk to people with Skype and all that, but it's not the same. And also for me, like I want to like hold cards in my hand and be able to like see the pieces, and I feel like the game gets lost if I'm just playing it digital. But that's me.
I will
I
say
like that.
that if I'm going to play a solo board game, I think the digital experience is often better.
I guess
I
that
think
makes sense.
Gloomhaven solo is better on the computer than it is in person.
Gloomhaven,
I played a lot
I
of
feel like you
Ascension
can't.
on apps, and I'm sure there's a lot of other cool board game apps that are fun to play. Slay the Spire is a deck building game. That game's awesome, and it's essentially a solo board game. Recently, they did a Kickstarter for a physical copy, and I was like, I don't want to deal with trying to play in that. I don't want to deal with trying to play that in person.
That makes sense.
I really like the computer. I really like the computer
Because
game.
also you don't have to set up and stuff for solo. Like, that makes sense.
If I'm going to play multiplayer, I don't.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I just play a video game? Like, video games
there
are
we go.
better digitally than board games are.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
What do you think, Ken?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked this to death, I think. It's mostly a case-by-case basis, though, right? There are bad translations.
That's true.
I think, Ben, you said this last time we talked about this. There are direct translations, like Tabletop Simulator, and then there are ports. And ports tend to be a better experience.
I agree.
Right? A port of a board game into a video game.
Just because, like, if I'm going to do it that way, you might as well make it a little simplify.
Yeah,
it for
simplify
me.
the computer, the non-player character actions, all that sort of stuff. Right? We played a couple tabletop simulators, and that was funny. Not that all games need to be funny, but that game was the most fun when you found out you could accidentally drag your hand across the table.
That is true.
In the computer.
Maybe I do enjoy this. There's no repercussion to be like,
No.
oops, did you lose your cards?
Yeah.
But I talked about this I talked about this a little bit on the recent session 0 about how being a game master has made me a better in-person board game player because I have worked and I said this, I worked so hard to bring the fun to game night, being the game master. And I want to say again, not in a bad way. But I have worked super, super hard to make the fun. That if we're going to get together to play a board game, that's easy fun. And I just love to be with everybody playing a game, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't then necessarily need to supplement that experience somehow by going online and playing a digital board game.
Sure.
Because I get my board game fix. If you were somehow really, really want to play board games and you can't play enough in person, then sure, go on Board Game Arena or whatever, whatever other digital option there is, and play 1,000 games of Race for the Galaxy or Star Realms or whatever. I just have never felt like board games board games has never filled that space where I need to play as much as possible. And I would love to play in person as much as possible because I want to use board games as an excuse to get together with my friends.
Yeah.
And if we're going to all get together online, well, heck, let's play a video game because I love video games just as much as I like board games. So let's play a video game, and then online board games have only ever really beneficially filled a role for me of maybe one example where I played Maria on Tabletop Simulator with Ryan and Janelle, and it was because this game is so good. Yeah. I needed a chance to experience it, to be you need to go buy this, and now I need to somehow bring this into my life in some way. But I'm never hey, do you guys want to play Maria on Tabletop Simulator again? No, I went and bought it, and now I'm just going to try to play it in person.
I do think it's good for that if you want to try a game. But I don't know.
The thing about what was that game? It was called Endless Legend or something like that. It was a board game.
It was a 4X. Yeah.
4X board game, but it did stuff digitally that you could never do in person because your player character was leveling up, but it was also you had armies or something. I don't know. That's the kind of thing that I think fits well digitally. Hearthstone, right? Another game that it's so smooth and so fast on the computer. I don't want to play Hearthstone in person.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily want to take the games that are have been optimized for the table and try to figure out some way to play them digitally because there's so many digital options already. There's so many video games. I don't need to be playing board games on my computer. There's a million board game or video games I love that I want to be playing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to play Hogwarts Legacy right now. So I'm not going to spend any of my digital time
He's getting mad.
playing a board game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I work on a computer. So any extra time I'm going to spend on a computer,
You're like screaming at us.
it's only going to be spent playing a video game.
Excited. I've been feeling that lately, though, and there's
That makes
games I
sense,
want
though.
to play on my computer. I'm like, I do not want to be in front of the computer.
You don't want to look at
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
I think it's just that time of year mostly where it's like the amount of sunlight
man.
I'm getting is like seconds per day, right?
Yeah.
And we
Right.
went from, so I don't know, last month, I think we had a total of like 5 minutes of sun in
my
Michigan, is what the news said. It was like you had 5 minutes, like something insane.
Vitamin
And it was
D
like that.
shortage. Yeah.
And then the other
Yo,
day,
what
it was
vitamin
like
D?
50.
D's nuts.
And the kids were on the deck and they're like, why do we play video games? This is wild. And they're sitting out there
right.
and they're like, why would I ever play a video game? That's
What a
so
stupid concept. Yeah.
And they're talking to each other, and like Calvin doesn't have a shirt on. I'm like, maybe put on a shirt. Like, you don't, it's not that warm. And they're like, why would we ever go back in the basement? And I also just wanted to be like, man, you guys are hitting that vitamin D hard.
Yeah. Tripping.
Whoa.
Tripping on the D, Sunny D.
That's what
Yeah.
it was like.
I need some vitamin D.
I
Man,
need some Sunny D.
that does the same thing for you. Sunny D and vitamin D.
Proven.
Oh, man. Should we get into the top 3?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Is it that time? Our top 3 countdown of the month. Yeah, we're talking. We got the standard. We got the standard this month. We got tabletop games. We got movies and TV. We got video games. And you know what's funny? Everybody was allowed to pick their own category this month, and we still ended up in the same place.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Wow. Okay. We've all had way too much to drink, I feel.
Yeah.
I shouldn't go first. Let's go clockwise, and we're going to start with Emily this month. Emily, what is your top 3
Yeah.
for
it is.
February?
Okay.
Number 3.
Thought you were done talking. Woo!
Oh, we're doing the top 3?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Like a
A
what are
top
the
3 countdown.
categories?
Movies and TV.
Sorry, where am I? I'm sorry.
Wait, this is called Date Night Thrice, right?
Thrice? Thrice?
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Are
the
you
top.
ready?
I
So we
just
have
gotta shuffle my brains.
Tabletop games.
Mm-hmm.
Video games.
Ignore that one. Video games.
TV and movies.
TV and movies.
Okay.
Okay.
You have one
I just
person
gotta
to
write 'em
figure out
down.
your
Hold
list.
on.
You have one person.
You have one person.
You talk to yourself.
Emily,
and see
what is your
you
number
want.
3?
My number 3 is a TV show, a series.
Okay.
So it is called Karen Puri. Puri?
Puri?
Puri. And it is a British show, as usual, from BritBox again. Okay, so it's a new.
I can't
What's
believe that's like
BritBox?
a thing.
That is like an app.
It's an app.
It's for British TV. Why are you looking at me this way all of a sudden?
Okay.
So it is from this year. It's only 3 episodes, but each episode is 2 hours. So
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
it's like a long, like
Yeah.
mini series kind of thing. It's a
Wow.
crime thriller kind of show. So it's just a crime show. So it is Karen reopens a cold case from 1995. She's in Scotland. She's trying to solve it. That's the whole show. Which that's what I enjoy about
Yeah,
British
keep it simple.
TV. It is simple. It is great. Now I will admit you need the subtitles or you will have no fucking idea what
Boy.
they're talking about.
You go rewrong to right.
Like the whole time you're going, I don't know what you're
The
talking about.
bullet in the body.
So, but what I enjoy is that if you like any sort of crime, thriller, mystery, whatever, if you
Yeah.
watch American stuff, I feel like every character has to have some like goofy personality and like, I don't know, it has to be like,
It's
don't
all
know.
caricatures of
and this is
one personality
this is a
trait.
regular
Yeah.
person. This is a person who works in
Boring.
crime and they have to
Boring.
just solve the case.
Boring. Where's the funny guy?
It's not, oh gosh. And it's not like no one has to be like over the top hot where you're like, why is she in high heels at a crime scene.
The busty laboratory
normal
assistant or whatever, right? Like
As
Simpsons
the viewer
character.
of this,
It is just the whole time you're going, I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure. And so you're just solving along with her until the end where you go, I think I got it, but, or whatever.
Were you right?
I actually was right.
Oh, okay.
Was. But it was interesting till the end, even though because I wasn't quite sure until the end.
What are the three things? It's motive, opportunity, and shoot.
Preemptive and
I know what you're
deliberate.
talking about, though.
Yeah, it's the.
No,
they need a motive. They needed
Just
to
look it up. You're our
be
fact
there,
finder.
and then shoot. So
Say
it was
those again.
fun to sort of like
Motive,
solve it along with the
I enjoyed it.
opportunity, and it's got to be some sort of physical
Someone's
thing.
alibi. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was like a fun, simple crime show. I really liked it because it isn't like these weird personality. It's simple. It's just
I like that. Yeah.
straightforward. I liked it.
Trust the plot. Don't make it
Yeah.
into a circus of.
Exactly. So I liked it. But yeah, it's on BritBox. And then there's so many other British ones that now I'm like, well, I gotta try this one. We're on season 6 of this one. Well, it must be good. So I'm gonna go into all the other ones. But I did need subtitles because I was like, I don't know what you guys are saying half the time. So
And what was this called?
Karen Peary. It's
Karen
Pirie.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
It was good.
Ken, what's
you
your
go.
number 3?
number 3. Movies and TV.
You could have all 3
Yeah.
movies in TV.
Get one.
I don't know what you got.
God, I don't remember how this show works at all.
You can.
Magic Mike 3 is out. Go see it.
Did you watch
Did you
it?
see it?
No, that's my number
That's
3.
it. Number 3.
It's
Go
out.
watch Magic Mike 3.
Damn it, though.
Magic
I was
or
like,
Mike?
I was just so
Here.
excited to be like,
Magicist Mike.
what? Okay, so but
We should go see it.
we've all watched the trailer though.
We should
right?
watch it when you're here.
Ben.
That's yeah, I gotta
Thursday
text my
night,
wife.
midnight
Hold on.
showing. Magicist
Oh my
Mike.
God! We are here to see the Magicist.
We
Yes.
were talking about going to see Ant-Man 3, and I was like, wait a minute, I think there's actually a pretty good movie out right now we could see, but
It's
I
the
can't
magic
remember
of,
what it
the
is.
magic of Mike.
And it's Magic Mike.
The
Hold
Magicist
on.
Mike. All right, while you text your wife, let me remind you, Ken,
No,
so you
wait.
can reform your list. Your categories do not have to. You don't have to meet every category. You could have all 3 in the same category. It is the top 3 things that you are
top
thinking
3.
about right now. I'm gonna let you think about that. I'm gonna go to my number 3.
Wait though.
Yeah,
Ben, did
okay.
you watch
No, I've
the
got a
trailer for
replacement.
Magic Mike 3?
Magicist Mike?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't? Ken,
guys
you
wanna
watched
talk
the
about it?
trailer.
Yeah, of course I did. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I think it looks horrible. I just
It
want
looks
to say that right now.
really bad compared to the other 2
Yeah.
very bad existing movies.
It's what's her name?
Selma
who's the-
Hayek.
Yes.
It's
so she
Kitty
is like
Softpaws
she's like, "Ooh, I
from
want
Puss in Boots
to
3,
fund
The
you
Last
for a
Wish.
show." And then someone tries to take away the funding and she's like, "You can't do this."
Oh,
Like,
maybe I did see this
it
trailer.
looks so
It looks bad.
though. It looks
I
bad.
did. I
And that's
saw
from
this.
the trailer.
NCG
Yeah.
Cinema Midland, 9:50 p.m. We could still go see
We can
it
still
today.
make it.
Well,
We could still make it.
we'll have to we need to go
Magic
to that.
Mike's Last Dance.
Is that what's called his last dance?
That is the name of it.
It is. The
assume-
trailer's bad.
You think
I
he
suggest
dies at the
everyone
end?
watches it though.
Well, and I
Get
think
this out
that
of my ears.
the base premise that Magic or Mike would date an older woman and maybe grow out of his Playboy days is
Yeah.
an interesting concept, but that doesn't appear to be happening here at
No.
all.
And also, I don't know. The whole time they're like, "But we want to have the best show," and you're like, "Wasn't it doing fine?"
Why
I
is
don't
he
know.
like giving her a private dance in her
there's
like Miami
lots
house?
of
They're
weird
in
dances in
cahoots,
this
yeah.
one. Yeah,
Maybe this
It's-
is for the Selma Hayek age group. I have no
old is
clue
she?
how. I have no clue.
What do you guys
I'm going
think?
to assume
Let's find out.
40.
He looks like he
I
hasn't
bet she's
aged a
50
day.
and she's just
I bet
amazing
she's like
looking.
Yeah, I
He
bet
looks
she's-
the exact same.
He does look the exact.
How
same.
old do you guys think she is?
I think she's 56.
48.
She's 56, Ken.
All right.
First of all,
Wow.
she looks amazing.
Yeah.
For 56,
My
holy
first guess
smokes.
was 41.
Well, that's why he really bumped it up.
56, she
41,
looks
maybe
amazing.
56. She looks amazing.
Wow.
How old is he?
Hollywood gelatinous cube consumption.
I need to get
will
some
do.
stem cell injections
Yeah,
or
no
something.
kidding.
Ben, you look 56. He's
I
40.
know.
He's
42.
42. So he's older than I would have guessed.
Wait, he's 42?
Yeah, I thought he was more
He
our
looks like
age.
25 in this
Yeah,
trailer.
I know. He
Yeah,
looks
he
fantastic.
does.
So
Dude's
What?
got it
He doesn't
going
look
on.
any older at all.
No. When did Magic Mike come out?
I look every picture I look at myself, I look older than
Ben,
the last
can you
one.
look at
Right?
the first Magic?
I
Mike?
have
When
this
did that one come out?
conversation with my brother every day.
What happened? Conversation.
Conversation.
2012 is when Magic Mike came out.
No, every day
So
I
it's
look in the
been-
mirror, it's like I've aged 6 months.
I think I might have to have something done to this.
I wish I could get that Elron neck.
Right. Can you just literally double the size of my jaw and
like
then
stretch things out
tuck
that
my
way.
tongue like up behind my
the
brain
problem
or
is like
something?
we're always weightlifting. We get those big, thick necks.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but
I don't have a pencil neck, unfortunately.
we're officially at the age where we go, I get why people are doing things.
I get it.
understand.
I get it.
I get it. I
could
could do a little something.
There's a little something that could happen. Right on over
It's
here.
changed from why would you ever do that? Gross too.
To be like, man, I bet somebody could do something
Could do
about
that.
this.
Maybe.
I don't know. How much does it cost?
It's not gonna
You know.
hurt, right? It's
Right.
not gonna hurt.
How long are you like uncomfortable for?
Yeah, right. Exactly. What's the recovery time?
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ben, what is
What a
your
special
number
treat
three?
Magicist Mike has already been.
I think
What
if we
is it
see
The
called?
it,
Last Dance.
Last
It's
Dance.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Oh, I don't
Which-
like that title either.
And if he moved, does that mean Big Dick Richie and the boys are not there anymore?
Are they
Or,
not
like,
there?
Big Dick Richie, damn.
What about that like douchebag kid that joined in number one?
Oh,
Yeah, he was
there?
like
and nobody
Mike
liked
Jr.
that guy.
Yeah,
Why
they-
was he there?
They cut that dude. Yeah,
Get
he
the
was-
hell- let the hell outta
Day
here.
2, they were like, get out of here.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
We're like pissed. Okay, Ben, what's your?
I don't want to. Podcast ends now. I don't want to.
Let's not talk about
The
that.
fuck's up with this guy?
All right, my number 3 for the month. We're gonna start on a downer, and then we're gonna work our way up.
What? How is your number best thing of the month a downer?
It is the thing that's on my mind the most. Is I am gonna start this off by don't trust anything a reviewer tells you. If you remember
Are
back
you
a couple,
retracting? Are you retracting right now?
if you remember back a couple episodes ago, maybe more than a couple.
A couple.
I was talking
Okay.
about GUI Cube was this campaign I was going to run and like all this stuff, cool handouts it provides and all this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
How awesome it is.
Yeah.
Man, GUI Cube, what I like. I want to talk to those guys and be like, what the hell are
Did
you
you get
thinking?
scammed?
No, I didn't get
Want your
scammed, but it
money
is
back
it
or
is.
what?
I thought like, we have all these handouts and stat blocks and everything, and it's like divided up in these 2 books, and it's going to be like super easy to run. And guess what? The GUI Cube Red Star Rising campaign is extremely difficult to run, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just start off with the complexity of it and how much reading you have to do. So, if I talk about Lost Mines of Phandelver, which is the beginner box set for 5e. That the adventure that comes in there, it's supposed to be levels 1 through 5, and the adventure book is 63 pages.
I think I have it. I think still.
Right, and it's universally kind of
$50.
at least a decent adventure, if not the best. It's a good introduction.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure to run, levels 1 through 5. Okay, Red Hand of Doom, which was a 3rd edition adventure, but it's regarded as a pretty good adventure. That is 126 pages. That's levels 6 through 12.
Quite a jump though. Double the pages.
It's double the size, but higher levels, right?
Okay.
A little bit more complicated, a little
Sure.
bit more going on. Curse of Strahd, which is one of the best Wizards of the Coast 5e campaign books. That goes levels 1 through 10. It's 258 pages.
Wow.
Curse of Strahd is a big thing, but it's 10 levels. So
That's a lot, though.
it's a big book.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I have the first 5 chapters of Gooey Cube's Red Star Rising campaign.
So just 5.
Which is about levels 1 through 5.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be at level 6 by the time we get to the end of chapter
We
5.
should be in the 60 to 120 page
In
range.
total, between the adventure book and the GM's reference guide, there are 813 pages.
Oh my gosh. What?
What?
It's insane. And
That was like times 3 what I even like already
813
upped.
pages. Okay. And every time, and there are so many things I want to complain about. So every time they reference a handout that's going to be given to the players, they don't tell you what it says in the book, which means you have to go in the box set, find the handout, and read what it says. So they're like, oh, there's a secret compartment here, and inside it they find this handout. And that handout might tell the players secret information about this character that nowhere in any of the books it tells the GM about any of that secret information.
you
That secret
also-
information only exists on that handout that is not listed in any of these 813 pages. You have to go find that freaking handout and read that before you give it to them. And I can't tell you how many times I forgot to do that, and I handed them something that I didn't know what it said.
So it's like you have to like treasure hunt it yourself.
And what I can't figure out is, are the people writing this, because only through chapter 5 has come out so far, are the people writing this, do they not know what's going to happen next and they want to be able to make it up? Or are they like purposefully writing this so that even the dungeon master is in suspense of what's going to happen?
I would
bet it's
guess the
that.
latter. Yeah.
There are so many doors that you find
Yeah.
that I know that they know what's behind them, and they're like, but the players can't open it. And the number of hoops
kinda
they
lame.
jump through to be like, this door can't be opened because of this. This door can't be opened because of this. This tower you can't go into because of this. This whatever. Then why the hell is it here?
Yeah.
And the number of like, we're going to lay these secrets in, and there's
much.
nothing that says
Yeah.
like, what is the story? If you look at Red Hand of Doom, for example, let's just talk about Red Hand of Doom. It is level 6 through 12. It is just as big of an adventure as the Gooey Cube campaign. And in the beginning, it says, this is the behind-the-scenes story. This is the bad guy. This is what they're doing. This is what they're going to try to do. On day 1, they're here. By day this, they're here. By day this, they're here. And by day this, they're here. And this is their whole plan of everything that they're trying to do. And then the whole rest of the adventure book is, well, when the players go to town, who are all the people there and what's going on. And then when they go into this place, what happens and whatever. But you know ahead of time, behind the scenes, because you're running the game, what the bad guys' motivations are, what the bad guys are up to the whole time the players are doing things. And this freaking Gooey Cube thing is like, it's like I'm one of the players. Like there's a whole bunch of...
I think that's intentional.
I know it's intentional,
You're
and it's a
supposed to
shitty way to
enjoy
write
it.
an adventure book.
You're supposed to enjoy it.
It is a bad way to write an adventure.
I'm with you. I agree.
Here's, for example, my players are about to finish chapter 3. We're going to move on to chapter 4. At chapter 4, they have to decide which way they're going to go.
Yeah.
And so you have to prep one area or another. I'm not sure which way they're going to go. So I'm going to read both ahead of time and prepare.
course.
One of them is that they go to this town. But if you read the adventure book, it tells you what happens in each of the areas in town that they can go to. But they don't necessarily go there in sequential order. And if you go to one before the other, then different things can happen. There's all this stuff going on with these characters. They're like, if you read the book, it's like boom, 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 boom. Here's what happens here, here, and here. But all the people that are there, what are their motivations behind the scene? I don't know. Let me go check the reference book. I got to pull that out. Well, there's a bunch of like like this can happen here, this can happen there, this can happen here, and then you have to go read a whole nother section about all the people, and then if you want to see like where any of this stuff even is, you got to go look at a whole nother thing that's like the map. It's like, it's not that this adventure is rich. Obviously, there's like 5 times as much page count here per level.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm preparing chapter 4. We talk about page count. Chapter 1, 2, and 3 were like 150 pages of content. Chapter 4 is 228.
Holy cow.
Let's remember back, chapter 4, which is 1 level of content.
But that's like you have to read a novel.
Lost Mines of Phandelver, 63 pages for levels 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Levels 1 through 5 of GUI Cube, 813 pages.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that doesn't include anything extra that I want to put in. And why am I putting in extra stuff? Why am I putting in my own stuff? Because I have no idea where the GUI Cube stuff goes because they don't tell you.
Huh.
Each chapter, you get a summary of that chapter. But again, let's go back to Red Hand of Doom. A levels 6 through 12 adventure, they summarize the whole campaign. This is what's going to happen over the course of these 6 levels.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And this is what you get 1 level's worth of summary. I don't know what happens later. I have no idea. And so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe nothing happens. I have no idea. So that I have like put in all this extra side stuff that I made up. And all of a sudden, like, am I weaving a beautiful tapestry, or am I weaving a spider's web that's going to entrap me? Because when I finally find out what the hell happens in the Red Star Rising campaign, which is content that I've been purchasing, is it going to hamstring all the stuff that I've been making up on my own? And I think what I'm deciding to do is, I don't care what comes out later. I'm going to just make up my own stuff for the rest of this because I can't rely on them. And also, I'm tired of reading 800 pages of content to figure out what the heck happens.
That's like a full-on novel.
I would just say, hey guys, sorry, it got lost in the mail. And then I would return it.
It's not like the story is bad.
It's just too much. That's fair.
It's not.
Yeah,
if you're a beginner, this is not the place to start.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
This
good
is insane.
conclusion. Yeah.
We know.
Okay.
So that's my number 3. I
Okay.
retract my previous review of GUI Cube. I am currently on the fence. Maybe I'll come back around.
Okay.
Wow.
Well.
A
Good to
scathing
know.
rebuke.
Yeah, right.
Man, the page counts was like mind-blowing. Plus, do you want to know this?
That is
I have a
insane.
bunch of lore books for the GUI Cube world.
Oh my gosh.
Between
I
the
get it if you
World
want to
Guide,
know everything, but like,
the 2 continent books from where the campaign takes place, and the first lore book about their magic in their world, it is another 1,331 pages.
this is like, so you're on Wheel of Time.
It's a game.
Book 2. Like, that's
Like,
way too much.
yeah, give me the mechanics and then give me the fluff text. Right?
Yeah, kind of give me,
Like,
like, where are we
geez.
going to go? That's
Okay.
insane.
Avoided. Yeah.
Oh, it's back to me.
What?
Number
And I
2.
feel bad because
Sorry. I
our
just-
friend
I
Joe
just-
Madigan was like, hey, do you like GUI Cube? Should I buy it? Because it was on sale for Christmas. And I was like,
Did he buy it?
I don't know. It seems cool. But it seems there's a lot of text. And then he bought it. And now I feel like I should have been like, ooh, maybe like hold
You
off.
said there's a lot of text.
Maybe you can use some of it at
If
least.
the glove don't fit, you must
Sorry,
have quit.
Joe. Sorry.
All right, Em. What is your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is also a sad face. I put. So it's a.
What is this, the bummer date night bum fest?
Didn't
it's
have
a
Bum Fest.
movie. It's me saying this movie sucks.
Is it
So-
Magic Mike 3? Magic
It
Mike's
is.
Last
No,
Dance?
okay. I
Oh.
went and saw it by myself the other day.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh,
dear Lord, my microphone just. Okay. Okay, so on Netflix always comes out with like rom-coms and all that crap. So the newest one, I think for Valentine's Day, was called Your Place or Mine.
Yes.
It's Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher.
I saw a trailer.
It sucks.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, it's very like Hallmark level, like, but it's Netflix. You have a gazillion dollars. Why are we not coming up with a better story? Who is writing these stories? So I will really quick tell you. So this is what it said for like the little info. Best friends and total opposites, which you're like, well, that's wacky.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Swap homes for a week and get a peek into each other's lives that could open the door to love.
Wait a minute. I think Megan watched this.
She probably did. Because right away I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like while I was doing laundry, sure.
Because she
put
said
on a rom-com.
it's some insane scenario where like he volunteers to watch her kids while she goes to his house.
So,
in California or something?
In it was supposed to be she is going to do some sort of class to get, which I'm also like, you don't take a class for a week to get a degree, but that's what they said.
Sure.
I don't know.
Legally
and so
blonde.
she was going to visit him. They've been friends since college, 20 years, but they've never been together since college. Or like, which I'm like, what? You've talked on the phone for 20 years? That doesn't make
which
any
means
sense.
like you don't. This is not the
That's
person
weird.
you like. Anyway,
exactly. And so then her babysitter falls through. He's like, well, I'll watch your kid. And then she goes and stays at his place. He's at her place.
Yeah, but we're talking about flights, aren't we?
Yeah. It's like New York, or I don't know.
It's like New
East
York
Coast
to
to West
California.
Coast is what it is. Yeah.
So it's not just that like,
Yeah.
It's an apartment swap.
No, it's like
It's
a total
cross
like
country.
And of course,
this stranger is going to babysit
she's a
you.
single mom who, what they say in the movie is, she has so many knickknacks and she's so messy. First of all, she has a beautiful fucking house in San Francisco. I can tell you right now, there are no fucking, it's not too much shit. The house is so clean. And they're like, what is this place? I hate when movies do that. Which you're like, well, then my house must be the goddamn dumpster. Because, like, I hate that so much. And then he, of course, has a really nice job, but he doesn't have anything in his apartment. Like his silverware is still in the plastic wrap, which I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
What?
So,
what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was he doing?
So, it's like you would still live, like you still have a life. It doesn't make sense. So, and then so the whole thing, I hate that. So one thing that I found that someone wrote about it was it's as romantic and funny as a root canal is what one of them. But also, I was gonna give you a picture, Ben. They have zero chemistry. Like these two together is like brother and sister. If you're like, just pretend.
The one review that I like just saw the headline for, like just glancing down news was like, I don't think these people know how to act or there's no chemistry. Like he hasn't done anything in years, I think.
Which I will admit, 98% of the movie, they are talking on a phone. So they really don't need much chemistry.
Sure.
Which also, I don't enjoy that in a movie. I don't enjoy at the very end, hey, we'll get together. Like, I want, I don't know. I want more than that. If I'm having a rom-com, let's have some back and forth. Like,
where's the rom?
This, like,
am I right? Yeah.
Was there calm?
Not much. So,
I'm a big fan of calm.
But someone else as a review said, which I just thought this was funny. They go, what happened to Ashton Kutcher? And first of all, when I first saw the movie, the one thing I enjoyed about it is I go, Ashton Kutcher looks a lot better than he used to look.
Really?
And someone else was like, what happened? And I want to go, he's 45. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I think that he's just,
he's not 20
anymore. So the one thing that I was like, I feel like he looks good. And I was like, wow, he looks great for 45. And everyone's like, what happened to him? He's not fucking in that 70s show. Like, what do you? He's not 18.
That 70s show. You know what I saw the other day? Because there's
so
a show
long ago now.
There's a show called That 90s Show.
I saw that and I almost lost my mind. I feel like that's.
I heard it was good. I'm not going to watch it because I just don't care.
Yeah.
But that 70s show was shot in like 1992 which makes it about 20 years old.
Oh shit.
Wait, no, 30. And so that 90s show takes place in 1990, which makes it closer to the 70s
I don't want to hear
than we
this.
are to like the filming of it was like this weird time thing, like, gross.
When I'm like, the 90s were a couple of years ago.
Right.
I suppose that's true because we were watching that 70s show in the brick house in college all the time.
Yeah.
And it was
I
it was
watched it in the
old when we were
90s.
watching.
Then.
It was
In the
old when we were
90s, you're like,
watching.
this is wacky. It's the 70s. And now you're like, well, that wasn't that long ago. But also, Reese Witherspoon is 46 in this. She looks like she's
again,
25.
Hasn't aged
I don't understand.
in 20 years.
How old is Reese Witherspoon? Let me look
She's
that
46, I said.
up. Oh, okay.
Looks
But she
26.
she looks 26. And it's like, I'm a single mom. This is tough. And I'm like, you don't.
You're a child.
Stop. Yeah, exactly.
You're
You're a
whatever her
child
name was
in a $1 million
Legally
house in
Blonde.
San Francisco.
Yeah,
Shut the
yeah.
fuck up and stop complaining. Like,
A beauty pageant child.
I'm just. First of all, at this point, I'd rather watch a Hallmark movie because at least I expect
sucked,
the
though,
standards to be like goofy
Yeah.
and weird. This is Netflix, and instead you're like, what the fuck was that by the
I
end?
feel like they just throw money at shit, right?
But
like
even I can't imagine how much those two actors cost.
that's what
It
I'm
has to be
saying.
so
and
yeah.
I'm betting that's why Ashton Kutcher, who has been out of it
He
as far
hasn't
as I
been
know
anything,
for
yeah.
a long time, is like, well,
He
they're
was
going to
like,
pay
okay.
you $5 million for one movie, and it's
For
like
one movie, yeah.
Here
and
she
to
is.
do
awesome.
Current day.
That's her when she's like 50.
Really?
Here she is,
No.
current day.
No,
No, wait. Look up the movie, Your Place or Mine, and find the picture of both of them. It is so awkward to see them at a
All
premiere.
right. Your place.
It looks like if you were like,
or
just
mine.
get closer to your brother to take a picture, and they're like, "Mom," like
they
that
kind
kind
of
of
grew
like,
up in the
scenario.
same like arc of popular Hollywood actors, right?
Yeah.
They were sort of in the same
Yeah. Which I actually thought he
bell
was a
curve, I
lot
guess?
younger, but he's only a year
No.
younger in real
Mm.
life. But
Wait, she's younger than him?
no, she's 1 year older.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, but I thought he was like a lot younger, and I think it's just because that '70s show. I just thought,
he
like,
wasn't in
assumed
the-
he was older,
I just
right?
assumed,
Wasn't
Yeah.
30
like
years
it
ago.
was exactly like I'm 1,000 years old, so that's why. But I'm just so disappointed. I was just hoping for like a decent, like rom-com, whatever,
Those are big.
and instead,
Those are fairly
like,
big names to like get together for a.
Yeah.
And it
you
was
know.
bad. I feel like I want to watch
It's
this.
not good.
No.
It's just stupid. It was very like
Meg
from
said
the
it was
beginning.
bad
You
too.
could have guessed.
Yeah.
You could have guessed everything that's going to happen, and there's no chemistry, and it's just like
Dang.
it's just bad. So, did you find a picture,
No, not a good one.
Ben? This
What
is
does
not
that
that
mean?
hard.
It was harder than you'd think. All the
not.
pictures were not helpful.
Just
There was a
Your Place
weird
or Mine
poster of them
premiere.
like laying in a bed,
Premiere.
and they're awkwardly spaced from one another. Like it's bigger than a king.
yeah. Why are they so far
Because
apart?
that's them calling each other, so they're
Yeah,
not
but
in the
like
same
the
place.
bed, you can't
Yeah,
get a bed
the
that
way-
big.
Oh, because they're like apart. I
Yeah.
got
Right, right.
it.
But
Okay.
also, it's this thing of like the whole movie. Everyone's like, "Why don't you date?" And they're like, "Us? That'd be crazy."
Oh my
And you're like,
gosh.
shut up.
We knew
This
each
is
other in
so
high school
stupid.
as if that explains everything.
Like it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, what? Here we go.
But even then,
Look
like
at him.
that's
I think
better
he's
than.
a fairly awkward guy these days.
He looks pretty good there.
I mean,
Okay,
it
but
looks
he doesn't
great, don't
even
get me
look
wrong.
that great.
He's
there
got that
compared to the
Elron chin
movie.
going.
He does
Yeah.
have the Elron chin. I'll tell you
Shit's
that.
popping, man.
I saw that in the
Damn.
movie, and I wanted
What
to
is
be
my
like, How
problem?
are you 40? You're
Why don't
he's
I look
almost
like
10 years
that?
older than me,
Like
and
there's
I am
stuff in here though. You can't just move
Right.
this. That's
Like it
my
doesn't go
throat.
away.
That's your esophagus.
That's how I
Right. You
can't
can
just-
breathe.
The doctor. Well, first we're gonna take your esophagus, and we're gonna just move that right.
There's a
Okay.
neck in there.
Yeah. That's where the neck is, dog.
Well, even
You can't-
okay.
There's nothing I can do.
What is her name?
I'm sorry.
Shoot, hold on. I have to look at this. Tig, the comedian.
I
I don't know
who
what you're talking about.
Tiggs, is it an S?
I can't think of her last name,
I
and
want to
my
say soprano, but I know that
it is like that. It's something like that.
Serrano? That's a pepper.
If you're gonna take too long, I'm gonna start talking about Spice Melange and the.
Oh wait, my whole thing
Kazakh
is
Hatterack.
she is in this movie as like the goofy friend for
Tig
like.
Navarro?
Yes, that
That's
is
what
it.
it is.
And even her in the
Did
movie
not
though,
look that up.
she's like,
Brain
you look
still
good.
works.
You got that jawline that's really in the movie.
Is
She's
it-
like, you got that really nice sharp jawline still going on. And
That's
I enjoyed that they at
crazy.
least
Is it
said
Tig
that.
Notaro?
Yeah.
Natara,
Yes.
damn it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you looked that up though. You cheated.
She's like old.
What does that have to do with anything? That's I wasn't saying her age. I
Thanks
wasn't like she's
for the
a
update.
young.
I've never seen this person in my
Anyway,
life.
a young,
Who is
sexy
She's
lady.
a hilarious comedian.
She's very funny.
She's very funny.
this? Really?
She's friends with Bridger. Ben, we're not.
Can we-
Oh, this
All right,
person.
Number two.
I know
My
her.
number 2 is
Oh
a
my
board
God, go for
game
All right, Ken.
that is part of a larger series of board games called Escape Room in a Box. We did one.
Love
It was
'em.
about a werewolf scientist or
Ooh.
scientist who experiments on wolves, that sort of thing.
Who'd you
had a-
do it with? Just you and
Um,
Meg, or
No, with my wife Megan, her sister Nicole, and my brother-in-law, her
Okay.
husband Matt.
I like doing group ones. That's fun.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
Because I expect, based on what we did and like the components and stuff, which were mostly good, this is definitely like a department store first game, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite as nice as what's the other really popular one?
Like the unlocks? Exit?
No,
Exit.
Hunt a killer?
To Hunt a Killer?
I think it's Hunt a Killer. Yeah,
The one
Yeah.
that come with all the fancy, like, it
Super
looks like
nice.
real.
They're at, like Target.
They're
yeah.
like
looks like a
actual
real receipt.
photos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real photos.
I
Hunt
mean,
a
this
Killer.
one-
Not to sidetrack you too much, but we've played 2 To Hunt a Killers now, and they have both been amazing. And the
Those are
stuff
like-
you get in the box are so good.
They're like
You
shit you could
remember
keep
those.
for your house.
You
Like they are like
remember those
legit.
games.
Yeah, I remember trying to figure out who killed that guy at that motel. I could tell you,
Yeah,
and
we
who
solved
killed
it.
who poisoned the lady at the museum.
I solved it. Okay.
Did we do
Anyway,
that? Yeah, we
sorry.
did the motel at a.
Did you?
We took that to the summer.
Oh, that one's
cabin
great.
And did that in August with like the
That one's
windows
fun.
open and the
So much
music.
fun.
We played like Unsolved Mysteries
Yes.
music, the theme
Man.
Have to
song
do
just
the music.
over and over.
Yeah.
Emily
And it
solved
was
the
like-
code for the lock, and she was like, "No, wait, I think it's this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're right."
I was right on my first try, and I was
Yeah.
I thought like it was like if someone said Einstein, congratulations. I was
Yes.
so excited
Here's
by
your
me
Nobel
going
Peace
maybe
Prize.
exactly. That's how I
Yeah.
felt. I was so happy.
If those are like S plus tier puzzle
Mm-hmm.
solvers, this is a B plus. So
Okay.
you might see it. You might see it in your department store. It had cool components, like it had physical locks and that sort of thing, but they're all
Ooh, that is fun.
plastic. Like the Honda Killer ones are metal. It's a
Yeah.
Oh, it's
legitimate.
like real locks.
It's a
yeah.
legitimate lock.
It's a straight up. Someone was like, "I found this tin and a lock."
like they went
and
to
a
the store,
little tiny, yeah.
bought 100,000 locks, cut them all out of,
Yeah.
they're locked. This one, it's all plastic stuff. And the puzzles don't necessarily relate to what you're trying to solve, which, it's like a crossword.
Oh, it's like a clever puzzle, but
Stop.
It's a lot of puzzles in sequence.
So it's almost like an unlock or an exit. You have to do a bunch of little puzzles just
Yeah.
to get to the big puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
A series
some
of
people like that
puzzles.
better than
And there's nothing necessarily
Yeah.
wrong with it, but it being a much larger box, I thought it would be higher grade in terms of like a complete story.
yeah.
This one was like, it's a scientist and a werewolf. Go.
was it
So-
fun?
It was fun, but because the puzzles don't always interact with each other, that's not true. They do overlap, or they give you a clue that relates to a 10th puzzle or something like that. It was fun,
Ooh, I kind
but
of like that.
it's not on that level of
Yeah.
like
Once you've played a good one, you're kind of like, what is this?
no,
you
like
know,
we
for some
we
other
solved
ones.
that murder in 90 minutes. We
Oh.
actually
Yeah.
Right. Like we
Yeah.
looked
we
at
got
the,
them,
we
ladies and
looked at the
gentlemen.
key
We got 'em.
card data for the
We're good.
doors. We figured out whose key card was who
Yeah.
All
based
we
on
have
the
to do
times
is
that they
go
were
to the
around.
police and
We
show
know.
them
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
cracked it.
Well,
This-
Emily's
this is
birthday
fun.
present that I got her was
still haven't done that yet.
one of their premium
Oh, man.
hunt a killer
It's like
thing.
a briefcase.
It comes
Like a
in a
knife.
real
In the
briefcase.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
inside of it is like a crime file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't done it yet, but I don't know
that's
what's going
so
on in there.
Ben
Cool.
told me he got me a job interview, and he handed
Her
me a
birthday, I
briefcase.
handed her a briefcase. I said, "Why don't you go get a job? Happy birthday!"
I slapped him with the briefcase, and
Oh,
then
man.
I opened it. No.
Knocked him unconscious.
But right away, as soon as I opened it, so it is super cool. That's all the files in the briefcase and all this stuff and all the info. But right away, I was like, the kids are gonna love this briefcase. And
Yeah,
as
you
soon
gotta
as the kids
hide
got
it.
home, they go, "Who's
I want
who's
a
using this
briefcase."
briefcase?" Like right away. What can we use a briefcase?
Why didn't I get a briefcase?
Can we all get briefcases? Yeah.
So I was like, once we
How
do
fast
the
does it get
puzzle,
delivered?
you guys can play with the briefcase.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's
But-
awesome. I love that.
Well, here's the thing. So
Yeah.
there's only so many. We're talking about hunted killers, but Ken's thing is supposed to be the escape room in a box. There's another one. Isn't that the one where there's like Alcatraz is one of them?
I don't know
Oh.
anything about it.
I think I know what you're talking about, Ben.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, okay, in a vacuum. Is this worth playing? Is
How
this
much-
fun? Should I go
I
get
don't
one
know
and play
what
it?
it is retail because
Okay.
he found it at a Goodwill for $6.
And it hadn't been like the puzzles hadn't been played yet.
It was still shrink wrapped.
Still shrink.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a deal
Okay.
hunter. My man.
He is.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that. I love
So
a
for
good
$6,
sale. I mean, that's
absolutely
great.
wonderful.
That's great.
Absolutely
yeah. A
worth it.
night of fun for $6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's awesome.
I don't know. I should look it up.
But even if it is more and they're like goofy or what, like sometimes that's just still fun to do. I just
That's true.
enjoy those puzzles either way.
I often
25
find
Easy or hard.
Okay.
so if we talk about escape rooms in a box,
Yeah.
I like Unlock because the rules are straightforward.
Yeah, but lately they're like, I don't know, it's a gray card, and you're like, gray's.
But I
not a
haven't minded
fucking
that it
thing.
uses the phone. It uses the I like unlocks.
I mean, I do too.
because
I like
they're a
that.
little more playful, but the rules are a little more straightforward. Exits are the complete opposite end, where like it's somebody is too clever for their own good.
Exits like, did you keep your receipt?
They're just gonna make some
Yeah.
crazy shit up,
What was the transaction number?
and I'm gonna be like, I don't. So I love these in the middle games though.
Okay.
I really like to hunt a killer because it's like a murder mystery. It's not an escape room.
Well, it's much
Right.
more
But now I'm
a-
curious to try this.
Well,
escape
this
room in a
was
box.
not. It was not an escape room.
But I do
we
like
were
that's
trying
like puzzle,
to-
puzzle.
The story was that a scientist had experimented with wolves or something like that, and she got turned into a werewolf.
Classic.
Whoa.
But I don't even remember like we were trying to find an antidote because I think we had been injected or something weird.
Oh shit.
I mean, I looked up the prices. These are $25 retail. That's okay.
That's reasonable.
Hunt a Killer, 30.
Yeah.
Get the Hunt a
Probably
Killer.
go. But see, the
Get
thing
the-
is, Hunt a Killer is much more Sherlock. It is, here's all the info.
Yes.
You do it. So if you like the puzzle,
This was-
that
it
is
had
much more
steps.
the game you guys played.
You could guess. I mean, you can do this in Exit too, right? You can guess and
Yeah.
accidentally get number 7 or something like that,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I guess it's a different.
You
it's a different
walk.
game.
You walk
kinda
through
walk
the
through
adventure
it.
one puzzle at a time.
Yeah.
Where Hunt a Killer is somebody got murdered and then it dumps everything on the
Here's
table and is
Here's
like,
everything.
figure it out.
Gosh,
And
I
there
love
are
that.
some things where you do have to know, one thing to get to the other. But for the most part, it's here's everything. Here's all the
Yeah.
info.
Yeah.
It's a police file, and you're
I
go
love
for it.
I was that was I remember dumping
know
it
what?
out and like
Ken, we have
my
the
gosh.
well, we have one Hunt a Killer that you haven't played. We could always send it to you if you guys want to do it because you can replay them, which I enjoy that.
we wrote all over ours when we did it, I think.
Well, the first one I think we wrote one thing on it, but other than that, like
gotcha.
everything
it.
else is
Yeah.
good to go.
We'll have to make
So we
it
have
happen.
that one, the motel one. We
Oh.
need to hand off to someone too.
Which remind me, I was supposed to send this to you guys for Christmas. Oh, knock something over. It came from England and it took forever, so it was
From
behind
England.
schedule.
What is happening?
But this is a Magic the Gathering card with
Is that
Matt Damon on it.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
That I
gosh, it's
have
him
made.
from the movie.
It says rest. It's a +2 to health.
I could use the rest.
Oh my god! I'm gonna
Don't let me
frame
forget to
this
bring that
and like
out.
put this up. Oh my
That's
gosh.
amazing.
I could
Oh
use
man,
the rest.
I love that.
Came after
That needs to go
Christmas, so I
down
was
here
bummed,
in the
but
like podcast area because that is. I need to frame that and put that up. That is so good.
All right, my number 2 for the month is a board game. We played War of the Ring, the card game, the other day.
Tell me all about this.
So Ares Games has made War of the Ring and then War of the Ring Second Edition for a very long time. I don't know when it came out. That is a wonderful game. It's great. You have a huge map of Middle Earth, and somebody plays the Free Peoples, and somebody plays the Shadow, and you are secretly moving the Fellowship towards Mordor, tracking where they are, without telling the Shadow player on the board, and the Shadow player is constantly looking for the ring. And at the same time, you are also playing a battle game where the Free Peoples are making military movements and the Shadows making movements, and they can attack Minas Tirith and siege it, and then all the battles of Middle Earth can happen, and there's this whole war game going on while there's this hidden movement game going on where the Fellowship is moving secretly, and you can peel off pieces of the Fellowship to go help out with the war game because they're very, like Legolas and Aragorn, Gimli, they're all very capable fighters. You peel them off the Fellowship, and they'll go help in the battle part of the game. And then you have all these cards that are sort of like very thematic to the story of Lord of the Rings. So it's very much like Lord of the Rings in a box. That game is great. It has a very big rule book. It's very complicated. But if you can get another player to learn it with you, it can be amazing. Well, War of the Ring, the card game, is a game not based on Lord of the Rings. It's a card game based on that board game from Ares.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
from the same people, it's like a card game version of that. And it supports up to 4 players. Is the 2, the 3-player game any good? I have no idea. We played the
4.
4-player game, which it seems like it was designed for. It seemed like if you have 2 really good players who are going to really learn the game, you play War of the Ring. If you got 4 players, go play War of the Ring, the card game. You'll have a good time.
That makes more sense.
But there are decks of cards in the box for the Free Peoples and the Shadow. For example, the Shadow has the Mordor card deck, and then it has Isengard, monsters, and the Southern people. And then like the heroes have like hobbits, dwarves, elves, Gondor, Rohan. That might be it. They're each a little like deck, and then based on the player count, you mash up those decks together. So at the 4-player game, the Mordor deck is really big, so one of the players just plays Mordor. The other Shadow player played Isengard, the Southern armies, and monsters, which was like Balrog,
Isengard?
stuff like that. And then what you do is you go around the table on a turn, and you pull a battle card out where the battle is happening this turn, and they're like thematic Lord of the Rings battle places, Minas Tirith or Helm's Deep or whatever. And then there's only one comes out each turn, and then a story card comes out, and those kind of go in order, right? They might start. It starts at Hobbiton, and then it's the mountains, and then it's Moria, and then it's whatever, right? As they work their way, And then you go around the table playing cards from your hand onto either the battlefields or the story card. And you were trying to win those cards because they're worth points. You play so many rounds, and then at the end of the game, whichever side has the most points wins. So it's a team game. It's 2 versus 2.
Oh, okay.
And then if at any point one of the sides has 10 more than the other, then they automatically win. For the story cards, if the free peoples win it, they get the points on the card. If the shadow wins it, they get as many points as however much they won by. So they're trying to like look for the ring, right? They're trying to really hunt for the ring, but you can't dedicate too many resources to that because then the free peoples will win the battlefield card. And the battlefield card is also like if you win a battlefield, you get so many points, and that goes to one side or the other.
Gotcha.
The interesting thing is, depending on where the story card's happening and where the battlefield is happening, only certain cards can be played there. And remember, each player only got cards from certain decks. Mm-hmm. So if you're in Helm's Deep, right, then like the Mordor troops were never at Helm's Deep. So the Mordor player can't play any of his cards
really?
in the Helm's Deep battle.
Okay.
Hopefully he can help out with the story card for that round because he can't help out with the battle.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like that.
It's really it's really like where's the battle happening? Who can play cards on what? What are you going to do? And now here's the thing. Every card in your deck is really good. All of them are. The way you play a card is to discard another card from your hand. And you only draw a couple of cards each round. So you have very few cards in your hand.
Yeah.
If you want to play a card, you got to get rid of a card from your hand. And all the cards in your hand are good.
So how long overall does this game take?
With 4 players, if you knew the rules and stuff, maybe like 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. If you were really cooking, maybe a little bit faster. I don't know that I would want to go faster than that. Yeah. I don't know that I would want this to feel less epic than that because I had a lot of fun with it feeling like it was a big deal.
Even the card system, right? The discard to play one is every move is a big move.
It sucks. And then the thing is, so there's like things where you, when you discard cards to play a card, there's other effects that cause you to discard cards. Any cards you commit to a battlefield or story card, after the battle is done, they get like kicked out of the game completely.
Like burned?
They're gone.
Wow.
Whoa.
And then when your draw pile runs out, you shuffle up your discard, you go again. So every time you win, you're losing cards from your
worse cards left.
And you're continuously being drained.
Whoa.
It's really interesting. And then you can do stuff that you could play cards to battlefields or stores. You could play them also to your reserve to use later. Or you can have stuff like I had Saruman. And when I would play Saruman to my reserve with no intention to play him to a battlefield. And then I had a bunch of equipment in my deck that I could equip to Saruman, like his Palantir and his staff and a bunch of other things. And he would like increase the number of cards I could draw. And he increased a bunch of stuff. And then eventually I had to use him on a story card to make sure we won it. But then guess what?
He's gone.
He was gone, but he had a special ability that instead of he doesn't ever get kicked out. He just goes back in your discard pile. But there's stuff like if you play Gandalf the White, you have to go through your deck and find Gandalf the Gray and kick it out. It's burned out of the game.
Yeah.
Eat it.
That's cool.
If you want to play Aragorn, then you have to get rid of your Strider card.
Oh man, what a loss.
So it was like thematic. It was fun. The battlefields were fun.
Yeah.
It was a team game. There aren't very many team games.
That's true.
And we all got to the end. We were like, I think we all agreed that we really had no idea what was going on. But we all wanted to play it again. We all wanted to switch decks and give it another try. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So War of the Ring, the card game, something I completely overlooked. I was like, who needs that? I would never play that.
No, you need it.
I would love to. I would really want to give it another shot. Absolutely.
Cool.
Nice.
My number one is
The Last of Us.
The TV show.
Oh, man.
Whoa!
Was not expecting that, actually.
Ken, have you watched this?
No. I played the first 20 minutes of the video game
Oh my
and
god.
cried so hard.
Why'd you
I never
cry?
touched it again. I can't say because it's
he
spoiler for
doesn't
the
have to
game
admit.
and the show.
Okay.
Ken, I will say that the
I
show,
assume it happens in the show.
Well, yes.
but
I'm
while
sure.
the show is emotionally intense, it is not for that reason.
Huh.
The same
Okay.
stuff happens in the beginning, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hit the same way in a TV show. I will say.
Interesting. Okay.
And so then I end up am on
super
board for
intense
all
in
the
game.
the spooky.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that spooky in the show. I mean, there's parts that are scary, but it's not like a normal zombie like
Right,
like
right.
thriller.
okay.
If anyone doesn't know, this is a TV show based off of a video game about a global pandemic which destroys society essentially. It is like a fungus that takes over people. So they're not quite zombies, but like similar
They are, for the
kind of
most part,
scenario. And it's this guy who helps this 14-year-old girl find like help or other people because they think that she might be the cure to solve
is that it?
everything. So
Is
that's
that
kind
the
of the
plot of the
basis,
video
which
game?
you find out like
Yeah.
everything
I
right
didn't even
away.
get
So
that
it's not like
far.
I'm like giving
Could
away
not
stuff.
handle it.
Um,
Okay.
But okay, so what I wrote down for this is the fact that's based off a video game is like mind blowing because the storytelling in this is fantastic.
Right.
It's like you get deep into the characters, but like it doesn't rush everything, but it's not slow and boring. And like all the scenes are just fantastic. It doesn't seem cheap or like a knockoff of a video game, but you can tell when you're like, that was definitely in the video game where it's
Right.
like,
That
you know,
was the
you're
thing
shooting a
you
certain
were
way and
supposed
you're
to
like,
know.
you were
Yeah.
supposed to do.
But it doesn't cheapen it.
But it
I don't
doesn't
know why.
cheapen it. And something
Really?
about it, every episode, I'm like, this is so good. And then the end happens and you go, no.
Oh, man. I haven't watched
It
one
is
of those
so
in a while.
good.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a TV show in a long time that I'm like, I'm so excited. Like, when is it time? And this one, like, and at the end, you're not only like terrified, not because it's like scary, but just in general, like this
Yeah.
like, feeling. But you're also like, that was so heartwarming and that was so good. Like, everything about this show is so good.
Maybe I should watch
love this
it.
show.
Maybe I should
What do you think,
for
Ben?
once,
get brave. And
for
watch this.
once, I actually don't want to spoil a show.
No, I don't want to spoil
Wow.
anything. Like, I'll say what it said in the, like, this is the info about it, and that's about it.
Okay.
I don't know that I've liked a show this much.
Really?
You know, really, it's
So good.
very
I love what's his
good.
name?
But,
Pedro Pascal is
Yeah. But also him and then the girl, Bella Ramsey, plays Ellie. They are both, like, they have a really good connection. Like,
Okay.
they are really good together. Where I feel like that is also part of it. They just,
Yeah.
like, they work really great together. So that's,
But even
you know.
like, man, remember that episode 3? It's not even about them.
Oh, of course.
They're not even in it.
Everyone remembers episode 3, Ben. At the end,
was-
everyone was like crying, legit crying, is how that one ends. So,
Oof,
but
I'm not prepared. I'm not
But
prepared.
in a-
I
but
know what
in a
you're
good way.
saying,
It
Ken.
is
I
so good.
understand what you're saying,
yeah.
and it is not
yeah,
that.
Huh.
It's not what you're thinking.
Okay.
It's just
it's definitely
good.
worth watching. And
Okay.
if you were just like,
It
well,
is-
it's based off a video game, blah blah.
It's
like,
what I
it's
said
so good, though.
into our group chat. I think it is engaging. I
Yeah.
think that's how I would describe this show. It is you turn it on and just sit at the edge of your seat.
Oh, man.
And then when each episode stops, you're like, whew, like
Yeah,
I don't want to be done, but
Yeah.
I guess it's nice
Exactly.
to have a little break.
it's so good though. I highly
Nice.
recommend it.
I don't
But
know what else to
it's
say, but
not-
it's really good.
It's not too spooky for people who are like, well, I don't like scary stuff. I don't think it's like horror, like jump out
yeah,
spooky
it's
necessarily.
a character thing, right? Huh.
But it's
Sounds
I don't
good.
know. It's just very good. I highly recommend it. So that's
Too
my
Cowardly.
number one.
Nice.
I know I don't even have too much to say about it because
I don't want to spoil
like
it.
you
so
can't talk about it without talking about it, and then that would spoil it.
I will say that. So when we watched the last one, I looked over at Ben and I go, "You kind of look like Pedro.
And I was like, no shit. What do you think I've been doing for the past month?
Ben's like in a button up, in a
I've been wearing
flannel.
nothing but flannels. I grew out my beard to look like Pedro Pascal.
Because you guys grow beards the same way.
You have
It's the
identical
same-
beards. Yeah.
Identical. And then the funny part is once I said that, and he was like, no shit, I've been trying. And then
Thanks for noticing.
I've been trying to look like Pedro Pascal,
Well,
trying to look like
it's
Joel.
working. It's fantastic. And then
Yeah.
someone messaged me the other day, and they're like, hey, Ben kind of looks like Pedro Pascal. And I go, yeah, I just noticed that also at the same
It's because
time.
I've been wearing my flannel all the time.
You have been wearing them most days, so we need to get you a few new flannels. Well, the person who messaged me also said, lucky you. And I said, no
Nice.
shit is what.
Hell yeah,
Nice.
what's up?
Wow. Very nice.
But I just enjoyed that when I looked over and Ben's like, you finally noticed, is what he I'm like, hold on. You kind of look like this character. But
It was so obvious to me that it wasn't even worth mentioning. I figured it was. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously.
right? I
right?
know that they do kind of
Well,
look
my
alike.
hair's like the same length right now too.
You guys have
That
like
helps.
the same hair. Like you guys have the same hair.
Just
like,
going to the
beard,
barber and give me the
everything.
Pedro Pascal.
Give me the Pedro
he'll
Pascal.
do
That's just
nothing
messy.
for
Yeah,
15
it's just
minutes.
gonna be him doing this,
shaking
He's
his
gonna-
scissors around
with
and then
his
he'll
fingers
swirl
touch it
you.
a little bit. Yeah,
He does nothing for 15 minutes. He swirls me and then puts a Mandalorian helmet on me.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly.
Is what.
That comes out soon,
Perfect.
too, man.
Oh my gosh! But okay, yeah, that's my number one.
I would say I've been hesitant. I hate to push stuff because expectations can sometimes ruin things.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
But I would highly recommend you give it a try.
I think
it's,
Meg wanted to watch it, so
It's really great.
yeah,
if I
watch
don't
it
get
together.
if I don't get in on that, she'll do it without me. So we'll check it
Yeah,
out.
and this is when you want to watch with someone else. I feel like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
So try it.
What's your number one, Ken?
I also have an adaptation. Reverse. It's not a Harry Potter game. It's called Hogwarts Legacy. It's a video game. It's on
Harry Potter.
computer, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Damn it, Ben has gotten to a new level
Yeah.
every time. Fuck. We've lost him. No.
What's the guy's name? Georgie LaForge.
Yeah.
Jordy LaForge. I'm
Yeah.
Jordy LaForging.
Every
Yeah.
time. That's when
He
we know
does
you've
Geordie
had too much
LaForge.
to drink.
It's true.
when-
It's true. Anyway, there is a game out called Hogwarts Legacy on consoles and PC. It's a video game. I'm not going to go into a lot of the detail because what makes this game so good is I even wrote it down. Hyper immersive and hyper accessible, which I think makes it a crazy good adaptation of Harry Potter. Like, in terms of if you're a fan of the books or the movies or neither or both, I think you're still going to like it. It's easy enough for people who have never played a video game in their life to pick this up. I think that's probably the most important thing. This is almost like
big. Yeah.
it's almost like they knew the people who would want to play this most don't own a console. It's
That's nice,
wild
though.
to me because it's just when I like things the most, I can't explain them. Immersiveness into
sense, so.
character creation. You enter as a 5th-year student at Hogwarts, hundreds of years before Harry Potter. They don't ever reference Harry Potter. There's a few
Okay. So it's not like
very
the
subtle
battle going on or any of that shit.
in the background will be the pond where Harry first saw the Patronus thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a pretty specific pond that you would
Okay.
have to remember. None of the same characters. You join as a 5th year, which makes you special. You have some sort of connection to or ancient magic, not dark magic. Whatever the magic they use to create Hogwarts itself,
Ooh.
you have a connection to. which is interesting. And you're trying to find, I assume, some MacGuffin or something. But super accessible, super immersive. It's almost like a Hogwarts simulator. And it's about 5 to 10 hours long in terms of story and narrative, which I've heard is pretty tightly written and pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it opens wide up and you can fly your broom to Hogsmeade. You can do whatever.
That's cool.
I want to stress the accessibility of it because I feel like this could be the first video game for a lot of people in their 30s right now. Like,
Yeah, right. They know
never
Harry
touched a
Potter,
controller.
like the world, and yeah.
It walks you right through all the most simple like controller mappings that Ben and I know, or you know as well now.
Mhm.
You know, Y is up here, X is there,
Yeah.
A and B, these right trigger shoulders, that sort of thing. But it's during potions class. So you're
How
cooking
cool.
some shit up while you're hitting these buttons, or you're in dueling class and
Cooking some shit up.
cooking some shit up. It's really cool. If you like Harry Potter at all, and if you have a console or a PC, I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's an A, a rock hard A.
Ooh. Ben, have you played this at all?
I have started
You
it,
started it, right?
and I haven't played enough to talk much about it, other than getting stuck on a puzzle. Did you ever figure out how to solve that puzzle?
No, and I accidentally watched a YouTube video that started getting into it, and I closed all 38 tabs because I
Get
didn't know where
outta
the sound was
here.
coming from.
You
And I
couldn't know.
closed it. Yeah.
Escape.
It's funny.
yeah.
I
There's
could
stuff
look it up.
everywhere.
Okay, so there's like so
I
many
refuse
little
to look it up.
things that
All the
That's-
paintings move, the
yeah.
paintings talk to you. Everything is a little puzzle or a trick or
Ooh, I
if you
like that.
cast Lumos, the painting looks like something else and it means something for this. And it's hard. Ben, you'll get it. Play 10 hours and you'll get it. It feels like you're in, when that Spider-Man game came out and everybody just kept saying, it feels like you're Spider-Man. It feels like you're Spider-Man.
Right.
It feels like you're at Hogwarts.
You feel like you're at
That's
Hogwarts.
You get the sorting hat. You answer questions to get put into a house. Like
Right.
What house were you put into?
Ravenclaw. It's pretty well. The test
You can-
is pretty. You
I
can
feel like
sort
you
of
can
figure it out.
tell
You can
where you're
tell
going.
where
Yeah,
you're gonna go.
and you
And,
can
like,
also
you can
just
pick,
retry. So if you
Oh.
wind up in some house that you don't want, there's a very simple question.
They were
that's
like, we know everyone's gonna.
what do
lose
you
their
value
minds.
most? Courage, intelligence, friendship, or
Being a dick.
success? Yeah, right.
Being
But
an asshole.
I will
is
say
that-
this. I think they do a really good job in the story of making the different houses like even, right? Like
Okay.
we were just watching Harry Potter 1 tonight, and it's like the houses are so one
There's the main
note.
character house, there's the bad guy house,
Right.
and then there's the other two.
The other
Yeah.
two. Right. Which
Isn't the
I can
Hufflepuff
picture-
like common room in the kitchens?
Also, I can picture
think it
don't
is.
know. I can't
Ravenclaws
remember.
are like kind of douchebags. Like we know they're kind of bullies.
Yeah.
Like they're.
But this
But-
game actually gives you the opportunity. You meet a few core students up front that are from houses that are not your own, right?
Oh, okay.
So if I wound up in Ravenclaw, I met a Gryffindor who was actually kind of a douchebag and a Slytherin who wants success but isn't a total asshole to get it, right? So
Okay.
like people behave like normal human beings instead
Yeah.
of
It's not all the douchebags in one. and all
note
the-
characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably its strength. It reminds me of Mass Effect 2.
I talked to Ryan Quinn while Ken, you were away for a moment there.
Did
Quinn
some
was
research.
also he was also put in Ravenclaw. I was put in Gryffindor.
Ooh.
Wow, you did that on purpose. We
And I
all know
can't.
that.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I or did I not?
Yes, yes. It was
Yeah,
like
right.
courage.
Did
And you were
I?
like, sign me up,
Did I?
sir.
Did
Yes.
Well, I was trying to explain to my
100%.
kids, it's like, yeah, but, and what this game has sort of shown a light on is, Gryffindors are not courage only, right? And Slytherins are not only.
Yeah.
True.
And yeah, I probably picked Ravenclaw to make myself feel good about my own intelligence. But,
Exactly.
make hay while the sun shines.
Ben,
Maybe
if
I
someone-
want to be
Ben, if
courageous.
someone
Yeah,
told you
right,
you're
exactly.
a Ravenclaw, you would have been like, nah, no, man. no,
That's not right.
You got that wrong.
I tell you what, I watched a video before the game came out that was being a bit skeptical on it because it's from Warner Brothers, which is hit or miss as the publisher.
Yes.
And then it's the developer of the game is Avalanche, not Avalanche who makes Just Cause.
Right.
Which you may think at first, you're like, wow,
Just
how could it be
'Cause.
bad? Because Just Cause is great. But Avalanche, who's made a bunch of like mobile games and stuff. So it's from a no-name developer.
Portkey is
Yeah,
their name.
and Portkey, like they've made
That's
nothing.
weird.
They've made
No,
nothing
It's
before
their
this.
first game, I think, actually.
And for everybody, you and everybody else to come around and say it's
just
amazing,
remarkable.
I've only heard good things.
unbelievable, crazy.
From what I've just
they
seen
must have they
online.
must have got some people in there that just like made it happen. It's cool.
Yeah,
New
I mean-
to Hogwarts.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Well, I need to play it some more. I was trying to. I was hoping to
here we
play
go.
it before we got on the podcast, and I just didn't have any time this week because I was hoping you were going to talk about it. But I have not played enough of it to talk about it. So now I
He
need to
informed
get
me
to
yesterday they ruined his day because he was
it.
gonna play
No,
it.
don't.
He was gonna
Don't
play
do
it,
that.
but then I wanted to play something.
No,
so he
no.
said, "Well, I guess I can't talk about it now." Ben, what is your number?
My number one and the final number one for this month is
The final number one. The way you said that.
the animated TV series on Amazon Prime called The Legend of Vox Machina.
Oof.
I've seen the card on the TV. Never
So
bothered to
this
look.
Legend of Vox Machina is based on Critical Role, the live play RPG stream from Matt Mercer and company. Vox Machina was their first campaign. So if you're watching Critical Role right now, they are on campaign 3. But their first campaign that they live streamed, the crew was Vox Machina, and a few years ago they did a Kickstarter campaign to make an animated series out of Vox Machina. It raised almost $12 million on
Holy
Kickstarter,
cow.
and so because they were shopping it around and nobody would buy it, and so they crowdfunded it and they got a ton of money. They made it and put the first season up on Amazon, and that went so well that Amazon has now paid for a
Acquired
second
it, yeah.
season and has also started making the campaign 2 of Critical Role, The Mighty Nine. They're going to have an animated series of that coming out soon.
Wow.
So I have tried and failed essentially to get into Critical Role. I'm not going to sit down and watch a 4-hour Twitch stream on Thursday nights. And I've tried to listen to the podcast. And as much as I like playing role-playing games, listening to people do it is not very entertaining. Even professionals, they're voice actors, and they're as entertaining as you can be. And even
Right.
still,
Right.
it's a little slow-paced. But the TV show, the cartoon, the animated series, based on the adventures that they had in their game. So the organic story that was produced from them playing Dungeons and Dragons
Okay.
live on stream
Yeah.
made these characters and these storylines, and they turned that into an animated series, and that animated series is awesome. I love this show. Every Friday, 3 more episodes come out, and I watch them Saturday morning. I watch all 3. It's
Wow.
so good. I really like this show. I think it's a perfect example of like a fun, role-playing fantasy game storyline can be, and the characters
Yeah,
are cool,
yeah.
and they have all this background that was made through like playing them over years. So they have all this, they have the character, and then guess what? All the people who are on Critical Role are professional voice actors. So all the characters in the show are voiced by
By
the
them?
people who played them on
That's
Critical
wild.
Role.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, they play themselves essentially. They play their characters again, but in a like tightened up, like really like closed down story of like them being these characters. It's not kid appropriate. You know, it's like
okay.
think about it like
Thank you for
Invincible or
clarifying.
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like adult focused, just because of like they don't hold back on violence and there's some sexual things and stuff. But as far as like entertaining, I think it's great. And as far as I can tell, it follows the original storyline relatively closely. You know, it follows the story arcs of the show. I'm sure stuff happens in different order or whatever, but it is essentially what happened in their campaign. So I never listened to Critical Role Vox Machina, and I never listened to Critical Role Mighty 9. I have listened to about 10 episodes of Critical Role Campaign 3. So this is so cool to see their first campaign, and then I can't wait to see the second one. It's so awesome. What's interesting was I've been getting into RPGs, so I found out about the cartoon because I've been like in this space. And then I watched it and I was like, this is awesome. And then to see a second season, and then to see Amazon picked it up for a season of their other campaign, to be like, okay, I'm not crazy. This actually, it is good. Like other people other than me like this.
Yeah.
I was never part of the Kickstarter, and I don't have any background with Critical Role, and I don't necessarily watch the stream. So to just like pick it up and turn it on and watch it and be like, oh, this is a blast.
Cool.
And then to hear like it's popular. It's popular enough that they're like going to keep it going. I would check it out.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
I think it's a really good example too of like for me who's trying to run a RPG, especially Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't have any history with Dungeons and Dragons, to have a good example to see like what are dragons like, or what's a vampire like, right? The first season, like one of the main bad guys is a vampire. What are vampires like in D&D? And to like see one up on screen and be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, and you can tell, like you can see the tropes of a campaign, like somebody finds a magical item, but it's cursed. It's a sword that grants you strength, but only when you feed it blood. And if you stop killing stuff with it, it starts to like need you to kill other things. Like that's a classic D&D curse. And to see that in the cartoon is like, oh, cool. Like I see what's going on here. So I have had a lot of fun watching that.
And where do you watch it?
It's on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Yep.
Cool.
Highly recommend.
Cool.
That's my number one.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Are you guys ready we're going to do a new game this week. So normally we do Would You Rathers.
I'm ready.
Now I am essentially stealing this game from another podcast.
Okay.
So a podcast that I like to listen to, I Said No Gifts, hosted by Bridger Weiniger. Okay. Love this podcast. He plays this. And so I just kind of tapped through and grabbed 3 random. So we're going to play Gift or a Curse. So I'm going to ask you two. We have 3 things.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you if it's a gift or a curse. You tell me which one and why. And I will 100% tell you if you're right or wrong. So I choose if it's a gift or a curse.
You have already decided the correct answer.
I have decided.
I like this.
Okay, so the first one is...
You know, we could just do Would You Rather this way, where there's a correct answer and a wrong answer.
That's true. We can do that. The first one is rye bread.
Dry bread. Gift
rye bread. Gift or a curse?
Rye bread.
Gift or a curse. Ben, you go first.
Is rye bread a gift or a curse?
Yeah.
Like a fresh loaf?
It's up to you.
Like,
I'm just saying rye bread.
Like the thing is, I'm gonna say a curse.
Why?
I'm gonna say curse because I feel like a good rye bread can be good, but there's so many other kinds of bread that are always good, and very rarely am I like wanting rye. And I don't necessarily I don't need it like trying to butt into the conversation all the time. Like if it wasn't an option,
all the time. Like
if it wasn't an option, like we could just be making our sandwiches out of sourdough or whatever, and we don't have to deal with rye.
That's a real king's bread right there.
Yeah.
The real champ.
Ken, what do you think? Gift or a curse?
I've never had rye bread. I like rye. I like beer with rye grain in it. So
Tastes the same.
blessing. What is it? Is it blessing from God or curse from?
Blessing or curse from Satan.
Yeah.
Is what-
Blessing or curse?
Yeah.
We change it slightly just to...
God's blessing or
You
Satan's
think it's a
curse?
blessing? You're going with
Sure,
blessing?
I'm going with
And
blessing.
the thing is, I think I like rye bread. Rye bread with a little butter on it, but I just can't get on board
Anything
with
with a
it
little
being
butter
a
on it.
gift. Like, I could never say to somebody that, this
Oh,
rye bread in my
I
life is a
see.
gift. No. Rye
I-
bread's a curse. It's too different.
It's a curse.
Oh,
It's definitely
okay.
a curse.
I
Rye bread. If someone says, "Do you want bread?" I would go, "Sure, I'll take some bread."
Where'd you get
If they
rye
go, "It's
bread?
rye," I would go, "I'm not.
Why do you have that?
I'm gonna pass. Never mind."
Were you
think I've
making
ever
I
like
don't want a
encountered
dense
rye bread.
loaf of
what's
bread.
the thing that you make with roast beef and sauerkraut on rye? That's a thing.
Reuben?
A Reuben, yeah.
Isn't that a type of Reuben? I don't know if
But-
it's.
I think a
Reuben.
Reuben's on
It's
rye
on
bread.
rye.
It's
Is it?
definitely on
Do
rye.
you need a dense loaf of
Okay,
bread?
it's a
I just
curse,
feel
yeah.
like I never am I going. It's
You
like
know,
ruining
like a
bread. for
Reuben
me.
I
on
love Reubens, though.
sourdough would be. That's a way better. Come on.
It's like if someone said, "Do you want pie?" and they're like, "Well, it's broccoli pie."
So
and you go,
I can-
"Oh,
You mean
Me
a
saying
beef?
rye bread is a
Like,
gift
yeah.
would mean that I'm choosing. I would be implying that I'm taking rye bread over some other type of bread,
Right,
which I'm
sure.
not
no,
doing.
never,
Yeah.
never."
Yes.
Okay.
Curse.
Okay. Okay.
Hail
the
Satan.
second one, gift or a curse, giant stuffed animals.
Not curse.
And I am talking about the stuffed animals that are like the size of you
Curse.
in, Ken, yeah, you go first. Why
Curse.
why is it a curse?
Curse.
Why?
It's garbage. It's big garbage. I don't need. Do I have to cut it up to throw it out? Garbage. It's hot trash from the minute you get it. Where does it go? Where do I put it? How do I clean it? What do I do when I want to throw it out? What if I have to keep it because I'm still with this person? Garbage.
I like how in your mind a girlfriend gave it to you.
I
'Cause
wouldn't
I'm
fucking
with
buy
this
it myself.
person.
Pardon me.
Well,
Ken?
you make a good point. I would never buy it for somebody. That's for sure.
No.
But if
Yeah.
somebody gave me a giant teddy bear
Soft spot?
Yeah, what?
that I can like jump on in the corner,
Cracks
like,
in
hey,
the wall.
we're watching a movie tonight. You're sitting on the couch and I'm sitting on this giant teddy bear.
Sitting on Big Blue. In Big Blue's lap.
Yeah. He's got his arms wrapped around me. His
Well,
little
man,
bow
now you're
tie.
now you're making it sound pretty good. I don't know.
It's an absolute curse.
So you're
Get
saying
that
curse
trash
now?
out of my no.
Why is it?
It's-
a
Why do
curse
those
then?
exist?
It's
They're
big
insanely
trash.
they're insanely expensive
That's true.
true.
and they serve
Waste.
I don't know what you do with it. Do you stand behind it like and pretend
It's
that
like
it's like-
handing somebody
I don't-
5 trash
what does it
bags of
do?
packing peanuts,
it's like a
but it
soft
costs
statue?
$300.
Do you want a hard statue of a giant bear sitting in the corner of the room? I don't want a soft one or a hard one. I don't need a giant
Gift or curse.
flexible statue.
Chainsawed log that looks like a bear standing up.
Gift. That's
a
a
gift.
That's a gift. Yeah, that's a gift. That's
For
badass.
sure.
You guys are 100% correct. A giant stuffed animal is a curse.
That's
You are right. And
awful.
I specifically wrote down, what do I do with this? How do I get rid of it?
Garbage.
That is the thing. If someone gives my kid like some toy I don't like, I can throw it away. If grandma pulls up a giant stuffed animal,
Right.
What do you
Thanks.
want? What do you want me to
Thanks a lot.
sneak this out of the house? It's like dumping a body at that
Like
point.
I don't have this house doesn't have the square footage for what you just bought.
Not to mention, what do I do? Roll it up in a rug to get rid of its body?
Yeah.
Like I don't. What do you?
You
gotta cut it.
chainsaw it into the
Yeah. Do
wooden
I have to
chainsaw
cut it
bear.
apart and like
You gotta
go
kill
around
it.
town getting?
You can't
the
put it in
body
the
part?
trash, you sick son of
And one piece at a time,
piece
one
at a
body
time.
piece
Oh
each
my
week.
God. Leave it
Its
hanging
head
out of
is
the
like,
trash.
yeah. Okay. So hold on. So did you guys both say curse for Ryan?
Yes.
That's
We did.
curse. That's
So
a curse.
far you're 2 out of 2. Okay, the last one is bugles. You know the snack?
The witch claws. Yeah.
Gift or a curse. Bugles.
How old am I? Current age?
It's whatever you want right now. Yeah. How do you feel?
Also curse.
Okay, why?
It's like if you managed to fry air in the shape, whatever shape you want, but you chose like a witch claw to do it. They taste like nothing. It's like a bad pork rind, and pork rinds are bad to begin with.
Ben?
What I would love to know is, are bugles intended to be placed upon your finger? That's what I want to know.
It's almost like...
Why are they that shape otherwise? Like, somebody chose to make them that shape. And I'm going to tell you what, I never feel cooler than when I have an entire hand's worth of bugles on.
But you've also never felt greasier than like...
honestly, the grease never crossed my mind. When I'm clicking, I'm doing this.
When you're...
on a hard surface. And then I do a couple of those, and then I do one of these, and I like do a little crunch, and then I go back in the bag. I put another one on.
You reach the already bugled hand back into the bag and come out with one here so that you can grab it and put it on that thing. I'm gonna have to get some bugles tomorrow.
Okay, so Ben, what's your final answer?
I'm going to say gift.
Oh, and Ken curse?
Curse.
They are a gift.
What? What?
I don't care what they taste like. You have witch hands.
But they
at that
taste like
point.
vegetable oil.
Doesn't matter. The witch hands and the fun outweighs what they taste like.
Yeah,
like Ben said, going click, 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 click,
you ever
click
bite
around
the
the house
end off?
and biting it and being able
and then you
to
breathe
eat
through it.
Yeah, you
And
blow
then-
through it like
there you
it's
go.
a whistle, like it's magically gonna make some noise.
See, all good reasons why these are a gift.
You bite the
Because-
end off, you can smoke a bugle.
Because if somebody
true.
gives me a shitty snack that's just like a cracker,
can't
it's
do that
just
with a
shitty
combo.
Cracker. Exactly.
How am I going to get that filling out?
You
Yeah,
can't have
no,
fun
you-
with a shitty snack, but a bugle you can have fun with.
Hit a combo like
on
a
the
bong.
end of my
Bong.
bugle, on the end of my bugle bong, I put a
Right.
combo,
Yeah, nacho cheese.
and I suck the combo filling,
pizza.
and I throw away the pretzel.
Every time
There
I
you
see
go.
Of the combo.
combos,
Exactly.
I buy the pizza thinking, well, this will taste great.
No,
Those are like the
that's the
worst
worst.
ones.
That's
no,
the worst
don't
ones.
Ever.
That's all I ever
Don't.
get. And I don't think I bought it.
Like a cheese combo is pretty okay,
It's fine.
Pretty
but the
okay.
pizza ones.
Wow. Pretty
It's-
okay.
First of all, who wraps pizza flavored filling with a pretzel combo?
That's like the opposite
what?
of what I want.
I don't know.
Ugh.
Ben, you won. You got 3 out of 3.
Yay, 3 out of
Nice.
3.
You got it. You got
like that.
it. Nice job. Okay.
And that
nice job.
brings this episode of Night Thrice to a close. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Check us out.
Okay. Here, you shut for a second. So we have the D list the first Thursday of every month. We're going to have to switch it up this next month, but the next one will be the Wolfman. Also, check out Session 0, RPG podcast for beginner DMs by Beginner DMs monthly. You can find that on the Date Night Thrice feed with Ben, Ryan, and a special guest. And then also, if you'd like to rate us or follow us on Instagram, we would appreciate that. And we have a Patreon if you want to help out with rentals or hosting fees or any of that stuff. It is Date Night Dice on patreon.com. There you go, Ben.
That was wonderful. That was,
great.
What is
Thank
this?
you.
This is episode 54 plus all the D
God.
lists. I have done that 80 times, and I have never done it
Yeah.
as good as you just
Yeah.
did. So thank you for accepting your new role as a part of this team.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.